old shack at. The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You could say I'm gone, I prefer elevated, pump sports radio. Time to get educated, Bouquett produced, play the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They get slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, cause we be, pubbing. We be pubbing!
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, May 2nd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We are 24 hours away from the Kentucky Oaks, 48 hours away from the Kentucky Derby. Feels very good. Very, very excited about the festivities of this week. After tomorrow's Betting with the Bag show, I'll be heading over to the Razor Sharp Picks channel for Kentucky Oaks. And then Saturday, Razor joining me here amongst a bunch of other thoroughbred handicappers like our first guest, Mr. Gogster, who will be rolling with us for the Derby. Another big day in MLB. Jose now hits his high watermark in Major League Baseball, plus 26.67 units for our Jose Bouquett. And I'm in the black for the first time since the second day of the season. We've had a great week. 2 shows with you guys. And I'm 13-3 in MLB. 13-3 plus 10.7 units. Broke even. Well, lost a little bit of VIG in NHL and NBA. Actually, NHL was fine. They were both 0-unit situations. Disappointed to lose the Oilers -1. Got in on them live. Got in on the live under 7.5 at plus 115 in Vegas, Dallas as well. So there was some great live action. There's great opportunities across the board. We are just making money here on the show, and it must continue. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Tori Coker ready to rock. We got Slow Jams. Arsenos has got rained out at work today here in Southeast Texas. Might as well gamble. That sounds good to me. Slow Jams. Gerald Jones in the house. Best bet Chicago Cubs money line. Let's copy and paste that here for us. So as we've been doing on Thursdays, we're going to keep it going. Now, Mr. Gogster is going to cap today's NHL action, only one game, and tomorrow. So we're going to do Thursday and Friday. And Troy Torrence, who joins us after MLB, he will be capping today's NBA basketball, tomorrow's NBA basketball, and Saturday, Timberwolves Nuggets. He wants to talk Timberwolves Nuggets here. Let's copy and paste our guy Gerald Jones action before the Cubs Mets. Ben Brown, a great story. 33rd round pick, mid-30, coming out of high school, and here he is in the show already. A Vipe in the house says keep crushing it. Miami -1, Texas -1.5. Let's do that here. Get that set up for us. I'll just put that right under MLB. Series business ready to get to work. J-Dub, the nuke worker. Rocco Rogers ready to go. Ross Pitt stacks play of the day is here. Rangers team total over 4.5. Put that right under Vipes action.
Jimmy, I'm fighting for my fucking life here.
Yes, not everybody knows about what's going on for you here.
Jimmy, my eyes are fucking glued to the door right now because I still got that shit open.
Why?
I'm
Why
terrified.
don't you close it? Why don't you close it?
Because it's fucking 80 degrees in my goddamn apartment.
And you got to deal with those consequences. Can you show the tape, show the clip of what's going on here at the Bouquett household?
Sir?
This motherfucker
No.
has been trying to come into my place
Go back up there.
for 3
This is not
times
your
now.
home.
You don't intimidate him. I think that's the problem. You don't scare him.
3 times, this motherfucker.
You don't scare him. But if this is what we need for you to succeed in MLB, then we'll take it. Okay. If you need to have this extracurricular raccoon fight, we will take it.
If you see me just take off during the MLB segment, that's because I'm fighting a raccoon right now, trying to invade my area.
Great stuff coming in from the chat as well. And we are cheering for you. We don't have compassion for you, Jose. No compassion whatsoever. Maybe a little bit of humor. The humor will grow if, there are more attacks, but no compassion here. That's no compassion. You're fighting with a raccoon. You're up 26 units in MLB. We just want you to be a gambling winner. And if you need to fight with a raccoon to feel that edge, I respect it. TJ, I love it. He says, if anyone doesn't understand why we talked about Pittsburgh, Oakland so long, I forget who was that. Who was pissed off that we were talking about Pittsburgh, Oakland so long? We got paid in full in that baseball game. That's all this is about. I was thinking, what's the one way to improve your life, to live a great life? One way. There's just one. Be a winning gambler. That's it. There's nothing else. That's what we did yesterday. We smashed that breakdown. Priester was great. Quality start, 6 innings. And there's some pretty weak defense behind him as well. Slatsy coming off a 3-1 night says tonight is tough. Toronto or Boston 5-0 last 5 in Toronto, but can they get it done tonight? I can't wait to talk about it. There's Nate Dogg in the house. Gifted Cartel went 7-2 with his action yesterday. I'd love to see it. Ross Pitts, Bruins, Knicks, Marlins -1.5 for Ross Pitts. Let's get that copied and pasted. There's Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper in the house. Johnny Gunn says, one more sleep till the Oaks. Who do you like in the Oaks and Derby? I think I'm set for both. I do really want to talk everything out, tomorrow on Razor's show. And then again on Saturday for our show. But the Oaks, I think I am set. For the Oaks, if we just want to touch on it quickly, I'm cutting the favorite. I'm cutting Tarifa. I do not believe. Well, if Tarifa, look, Brad Cox is a monster, and Flavian Pratt's an incredible jockey. And if Tarifa can run outside of Fairgrounds, I mean, we already watched it run nice at Keeneland, but ran poorly at Churchill Downs. These 3 races were at Fairgrounds. If Tarifa is capable of continuing that form at Churchill Downs, I will lose. That's fine. If Tarifa is capable of that, I'm fine. I am going to be on the 5 Torpedo Anna, the 11 Ways and Means, and of course the 13 Just FYI, who I think we're getting this huge discount on because of that race at the Ashland. I imagine I'll have a win bet on Just FYI as well. And then for the bigger score, I'm going to add in the 3 Where's My Ring 15-1 morning line to be second and third in different combinations. And then I think Fierceness is your Kentucky Derby winner. I don't think that's going on a limb. It's a 5-2 favorite. With Sierra Leone's post, now we're going to keep working on all of this, but that's where I'm at right now. Johnny Guns. Rodney Barton in the house says short card, but plenty of money to be made. Philly Eagle Flyer, Lee Davis. And great to have Lee running with us again. Absolutely love Lee back in action with us. Rocco Rogers is waiting on the lineup news before. I've already made my bet in Toronto, Boston. I'm ready to bet tomorrow's card as well, but just want to talk it out with Mr. Gogster. Wine Time Sports in the house. When you're thinking about making a move on a baseball game and you hear that Wine Time is on it, you fucking smash it. You smash it. And, we were already on the Phillies first 3 and first 5 -0.5. But Wine Time's thoughts on the under were, and then look at those unders that we added yesterday, by the way. These were all going up against big cash on the other side, and the market was going in our direction. Jose came with us on that Pitt Oak, which was a great breakdown by the squad. But yesterday, that's my Kentucky Oaks here. Yesterday, the unders that we added. So we were already on KC Toronto under 8.5, which catched. But Pitt Oak under 8, Philly LA under 8, and then Cincinnati San Diego under 8. Now the Cincinnati San Diego pushed. It was unlucky, 4 runs there in the 7th to make it was 2-2 going into the 7th, but the other 2 cashed. It's working. This is working. And Lee Davis says he's champing, baby. Champing. Jay Stone in the house. Jeffrey Moore said I was cruising good until Astros first 5 run line hit me. Viper NB. There is Swiggy in the house. Billy Friedrich. Troy Torrance says, man. Clip says, shoot it over there. Nuke Warrior says Jose is sweaty balls again. Yeah, it's working. It's working. If we need to keep that heat pumping in that apartment to keep him winning at the level he's winning at right now, there is he at this point. I mean, we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. It's just May 2nd, but There's nobody in the industry hitting MLB like Jose is right now. No one in the entire industry. And it's very good. It's very helpful. Wine time, Joey Harb. Cole Coleone in the house. We got the Vegas King rocking with us. All right, it's time to get to work. Millsy says that Jalen Rose or Jose. Billy Friedrich, the sweaty butcher. I love this. Razor Sharp Pick says Vegas first period over, the gift that keeps on giving. And the full game goes under. How many times have we done this, Razor, where you've made me not bet the first period under 1.5, and the full game goes under, and you cash yours, and I cash mine? Unbelievable. And we got that under 7.5 plus 115. It's just very, very heavenly. Jake Burns, does anyone know how Kyle Bradish has done in spring training? We're going to talk all about Kyle Bradish because we got Kyle Bradish today and John Means tomorrow. So we get to peek behind the Orioles curtain to see if they actually have a pitching staff here. Smooth balls play of the day is Sixers -3 at -112. Let's make sure that is copied and pasted. It's uncanny. On these Thursdays, we have a lighter card, and it doesn't change a thing. It's just nonstop capping till the very last second. I don't. I guess it's just not as horrific as these days, like tomorrow. North Ender says my life is vastly improving by the day because we just keep winning. Mads blowout casher. Let's work. I love it. North Ender, Red Girl in the house. King Al. Great to see all of you guys. Leonard Portuner says, Jimmy, I'm noticing a direct correlation between my local lines versus Bet365 lines with regards to Operation Garcia. I'll send more info later. I did message Mr. Dennis Garcia to talk about how he feels about everything. And his idea is just that we see the books, they were getting crushed on the first half unders. They were getting crushed on unders, and they've just lowered the total so much, and that affects the player props. I was surprised I didn't turn a profit yesterday. It was a very slight loss. I didn't put it in my Operation Garcia worksheet. I've been taking every last available second to horses right now. All right, we got Big Daddy Boom in the house off a 2-0 day. It's great to see all of you guys. Kong's Clip says, isn't fierceness coming out of the 17th hole? I know a lot of cappers who think that's the perfect spot for him. There's no speed on his outside. That's the problem with that. You just don't want to be squished. There's no speed on his outside. So it's a fine spot for him. It's a fine spot. Mel, I love capping with you. Thank you for the kind words. I love capping with you. So here we go. And Razor Sharp picks 5, 11, 13, 14. So the difference between Razor's, we're both on 5, 11, 13. We're both cutting the favorite. Look at that. Now he is adding the 14, and that 14 is Leslie's Rose with Irad Ortiz Jr. and Todd Pletcher. Leslie's Rose cost $1.15 million. $1.15 million at the Keelan September sale into Mischief. Look, I get it. Now, I think that was in a spectacular trip in the Ashland where, she just got to scoot up the inside rail. Now she's coming to 14th post. I challenge Leslie's Rose to do that again. But, we're going to get nice prices on these. I mean, there's no clear favorite in the Oaks. Don't forget, Razor's show starts at 10:15 a.m. tomorrow, and our show starts at 10:15 a.m. on Saturday. And let's get to work. And shout out to Razor Sharp Picks Horse Racing Channel. They broke their record for views yesterday. 8,000 plus views for Razor Sharp Picks. Ron Crawford action in spreadsheet play today. Boston first 5, and the 76ers spreadsheet play of the day is in. All right, so oh shit, that's my Kentucky Oaks page again. Okay, it's time to get to work. And that is true, Nuki. Yeah, he did move in 1. But it's not a problem. We've seen Triple Crown winners come out of the 17 hole and cash. I don't think it's a problem. Don't think it's a problem. Truth Teller says going to be there. Love it, Truth. Let me make sure that I got Ron Crawford's action copied and pasted here. And it is time to get to work. Let's bring on your guest, your star of Thursday NHL action. We're going to be capping the Thursday and Friday NHL cards here. Don't worry. We know there's a game at 12:15. We're going to have lots of time to cap it. Lots of time to go into it with Jose. So don't worry about a thing. And let me get this up here. And please welcome, coming to us from Belleville. Now, for some reason called Bell Vegas, I can't think of two cities. I don't even know if Belleville is considered a city. I can't think of two places that differ more than Belleville in Las Vegas. And if it makes the Belvillians or the Belvillains, if it makes them happy to add Vegas to the first 5 letters of their township, then God bless them, because they have to wake up every morning in that shit. Please welcome, after their big playoff victory, please welcome Mr. Gogster to the show. Gogster, how are you, my friend?
Good, Jimmy. How you doing today, brother?
I am very good. You were at the playoff game?
Yeah, last night it was a good game, 2-1 win. Really defensive game there. Sogard kept us in there, and up 1-0 for the boys. Semifinals, buddy.
Over the Cleveland Monsters, is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you guys favorites in the series?
I was minus 115 going into last night. If we get this one here, we're going to be up 2. Then they go 3 back to Cleveland, so it's a best of 5. We get this one on Friday night, guys. We're live, and if that's the case, I think we're going to be playing either Providence or Hershey.
Do you have action to futures on?
No, I couldn't find any futures on that. No, I just do day-to-day games there right now.
All right. Well, let's get to work, Gogster. We have a very interesting NHL card ahead of us. Vegas-Dallas draw plus 324 lost. My first draw of the year, Gogster. I'm going back to the draw in Game 6. I think we're going to talk it out here, and I think I'm going to be on Vegas. Vegas-Dallas under 6 cashed, and the Oilers -1 pushed. It was a 1-in-1 day. Still has not been a very good playoffs for me. So, but I do believe in everything we're doing here. It's just there's one series that I've got fatally wrong, and that is the first series we're going to be talking about right now. Yes, Ed Roberts, that's right. NHL, then MLB with an early slate. Amazing. Thank you, Ed Roberts. It's the first time I've seen your name in the chat, and I know that you're being a dick, but Ed Roberts, you can smooch my taint, Ed Roberts. And you might be saying, Jimmy, what's a taint? You know, is it that thing under my mom's nose? No, that's your mom's food pussy, Ed. And you may think it's her taint just because it smells like one. But that is not the case, Ed Roberts. And Ed, you can leave. You can leave at any time. How about now, Ed? How about now? How about you leave now? Yes, TJ, that's right. It's that beautiful flap of skin. And going back to this, Ed, just so you know what the taint is, it's that beautiful flap of skin that's right between your mom's balls and asshole. There you go. Okay, Gogster, let's roll. East first round, Game 6. Boston leading the series 3-2. Bruins are 47-20-15, 23-9-9 on the road. Toronto Maple Leafs 46-26-10, 22-15-4 at home. We're at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. This has changed drastically, this series, because of Joseph Woll. Joseph Woll has changed things drastically. We know what he did in college. We know how much he cares about the state of Massachusetts. We know how much he cares about playing Boston, and he was very, very good. Jeremy Swayman has been spectacular all series long. So we have 2 very, very good goaltenders. Still, my fear of unders in elimination games will take precedent. So I'm on the first period under 1.5. I'm on the first period under 1.5 here. It was -1 away to Pinnacle. It was -110 if I sent it in. I just sent it in. Toronto power play 24% in the regular season, 5.9% in the playoffs, 57.1% penalty killing. We've seen what that does in playoff series. When you can't win the special teams battle, you're going to lose. We just saw it in Kings Oilers. You know, we've seen it throughout this playoffs. We just saw it in Avalanche Jets. It's happening here. The difference here is that 5-on-5, the Leafs are winning. And I can't believe it. I could not believe in Game 5. I couldn't fathom that was happening. And it was happening. The Leafs outplayed the Bruins in Game 5. And now the question is, I've got this series wrong from the get-go. Do you want to bet it today? And I don't. I'm wrong on this. I'm wrong. So this is too important right now. We have the Leafs opening up at -116. They're now -104. We've seen them fail in this position over and over and over again. Why would they not fail here? I think that's a fair question. You could say that this team has more heart. This team is whoever wins this series, you max bet against them when they play the Panthers. I mean, depending on the line, obviously. This total sitting at 5.5 -102 to the under. It opened up at +101 to the under. We've had 3 cents of movement on the under. I kind of like the under. Steve G says is Matthews playing, and I'll go over all that I know at this point. So again, Boston power play 42.9, penalty killing 94.1, and it's just nuts. Nye scored 3 minutes into overtime. That was a great rush to the net. I hope if you have a son or daughter playing hockey, please show them that clip. That's how you go to the net. That's how you make something out of nothing. And Johnny Tavares did it last night or 2 nights ago. McCabe had a goal. I mean, these guys are playing with a ton of heart. Wall finished with 28 saves. Lyubushkin, Domi, Marner had assists. And there was no Austin Matthews. So will he be here this evening? They hope so. Is it a sickness or an injury? No one knows. Nobody knows what the hell is going on with Austin Matthews. Your guess is as good as mine. But he has all of his points here came in that one victory, and he looked like the best player on the ice in that game. So I don't know what's going on with him. But here from Sheldon Keefe, he says, the aggression, the assertiveness that we played for from the start, we didn't feel sorry for ourselves. We didn't mail it in. We went out and tried to take charge of the hockey game in the first period. They outshot Boston 12-2, and they won 16 of 20 faceoffs. Max Domi won 7 faceoffs. He was 7-0 to start that game. Now you got the Boston punch back, fight back. Montgomery said, I'm still ticked off. This is what he said yesterday at practice. I'm still ticked off from last night. Just being honest, I don't understand and I don't accept our play last night. So I'm going to be ticked off until the puck drops tomorrow night. Charlie McAvoy said that they had a really productive meeting. They went over the tape. They had a really productive player meeting. They're going to come out guns a-blazing. But I think these 2 goalies can keep this under 1.5. I'm on the first period under 1.5. Mr. Gogster, take it away. Boston Bruins, Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I agree, Jim. The Boston's going to come out. They're pissed off here. Whenever, teams got their back's not against the wall completely. They're up 3-2 here, but coming off that bad game here, Toronto's going to have to hold their push in the first period there, probably at least the first period. Wall has looked a lot better, though. I would actually say a lot better. Samsonov's been fine, but Wall, I would expect Wall to be going tonight. And then the other side, we're going to have our guy Swayman, more likely than not. I would expect Swayman here. If Allmark goes, he's had 1 start. And it's been in game 3 there, or it was game 2, I believe. But anyway, he hasn't had many starts this game. I would go with Swayman, and a good point too, Jim. I think you brought up about the power play. 6% and this against Boston. The 5-on-5, they have been quicker, but they've only scored 3 goals once in this series. They need to start scoring a little more. But to be honest, look how they won that last game. I think that's how they're going to have to play this game here. They're winning the faceoff battle, though. Like you said, their Domi, he had a great showing last game. They're winning the give a takeaway battle there against this team. And then 4 shots against. It's 119-102 right now for Toronto. So it's a game I'm not going to pick the side. I'd feel like a homer taking my Leafs. So what I've done, Jim, is I've done Marner here. I think Marner, he just gets his skating and his hockey senses, more he's playing, the more open ice I find he gets out there, Jim. So I think he's going to get some shots on goal here. Over 2.5, it's +104 there at Pinnacle. That's going to be what I'm going to fire on this game, Jimmy. I think Marner's going to be able to he's so good at finding open ice, guys. He's going to an assist prop on Marner could be live. I don't think there's going to be a lot of goals in this game. I do like your under there, Jim, in the first, but where I decided to put my money on tonight is going to be the Marner shots on goal, guys, over 2.5 at +104 tonight, Jim.
I like it. Let's roll on.
Quickly,
I do not think Matthews plays tonight.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, Matthews, I don't think he is. He wasn't on the ice for morning skate. They just said here a couple minutes ago. So, yeah, I would expect no Matthews. Similar game to last on Tuesday there.
Yeah, absolutely. AOD and now some Brahma B confident in the Leafs in Game 6. Let's roll on to tomorrow's action. We have 2 games tomorrow. We're going to be talking about this with Bobano as well. and then we will get into MLB, and we'll have about 45 minutes before first pitch. Let's get into it here, and that's just the one game at 12:15. The other games are after 1. We get into the West first round, Game 6. Vancouver leading the series 3-2. The Canucks 50-23-9, 23-14-4 in the regular season. We're a very good road team. Nashville was just 23-16-2 at home. They were a better road team than they were a home team. I think that Arthur Silovs starts over DeSmith. I think Arthur Silovs has a higher upside.
Mm-hmm.
And we've already seen that the bottom is not something we need to worry about. He seems like a strong-minded kid. He seems like he's just ready to handle this pressure, and he loves it. So I expect Silovs against Saros. Let's get into the line history here for this spot. Here we go. Tomorrow, this is the early game. This total sitting at 5.5. It's minus 105 to the over. It opened minus 103 to the over. We have a 2-cent move to that over. On the money line here, we're sitting here with Nashville at minus 128. They opened up at minus 120. They got up to minus 131. They also got down as far as minus 117. So there's been action on either side. I'm looking forward to talk this one out. And it was a very funny feeling. When it was 1-0 after Zadorov scored. And I love what Zadorov is doing. He's just big and tough. I mean, I don't know how Calgary let him go. But the feeling of knowing that even though the Canucks had everything going in their favor in that third period, especially after that goal, and it was a beauty by Zadorov, that they were still going to lose the game. It's this sick feeling I have. I hate it. I hate it. And I would like the Canucks to win this hockey game for the city of Vancouver, but I'm going to bet against that happening. This series, Saros has not been very good. 0.879 save percentage, 2.21 goals against average, but save percentage under 880. But he looked very strong in that last game. The Nashville power play, 10.5%. The Canucks power play, 15.4%. Both penalty kills have been very strong. Roman Josi and Alexander Carrier scored goals. Brunette was just gushing about Carrier, by the way. He's saying he's a heart and soul kid, highly competitive, love him. Nice to see him get rewarded in a big-time moment and a big-time play. I love hearing that stuff. Philip Forsberg, there's my guy BT in the house. Philip Forsberg assisted on both goals. So this is the situation with this hockey game, and this is why I can't trust the Canucks here. They've generated 92 shots on goal. That's the second fewest through 5 games of a playoff series since 1960. Mm-hmm. We have too many Canucks playing on the periphery. The Washington Capitals had 90 shots through the first 5 games in 1998 conference semis against the Senators. They won that in 5 games. In game 3, the Canucks were outshot 30-12, but power play goals from Miller and Besser. 4-3 win in game 4. They were outshot 30-21. They had the miracle comeback. Now, while they've had a tough time generating shots, it's imperative to know that they are kind of winning the 5-on-5 play, even though they're staying on the periphery. It's a strange dichotomy. They have controlled 54.68% of expected goals at 5-on-5, and that's from Natural's hat trick. Natural stat trick. 54.68% of expected goals. So they're still playing pretty well on 5-on-5, even though I don't like the way they're playing. It's not a kitchen sink type of offense. The road team has now won each of its past 4 games. The winner each game, because of the low shots on goal, is whoever wins the special teams battle. That's all it is. So, Nashville is 1 for 4 on the power play. The Canucks were 0 for 2. Nashville won the game. And that goal snapped 17 straight penalty kills for the Canucks. It was important for Josi and that Predators power play to get a goal and believe in themselves. We're through 5 games. Each side has scored 12 goals. Vancouver 2 for 13 on the power play. Nashville 2 for 19. The more blocked shots, hits. The Canucks are ahead, 181-164. Block shots, 80-78 for the Canucks. Nashville holds a slight edge in faceoff percentage, but it's a pretty tight series. And I plan on being on the Nashville Predators, but I want to hear your plan of attack. And I also don't think I would take it on the -1 line either. Take it away, Gogster, Knuckleheads, Canucks. And maybe is this another draw opportunity? Take it away.
Yeah, this has just been an under series, and we brought up the shots there, Jim. That's what I was going to bring up too. They've been under 20 in pretty much all 5 of these games so far. So Nashville's doing a really good job of just eliminating kind of what I've noticed is Vancouver's adjusting. At first they were getting a lot of shots blocked. As the series just went on, they kind of are shooting the puck kind of down low, getting the bounces off the boards, and then kind of working with that, kind of just beating. One thing was Saros too. Saros is a smaller goalie, and he likes to cheat a lot. If you noticed, I've been watching him. He likes to cheat a lot. That goal Zadorov had, he was cheating, he was just kind of, he wasn't even thinking the shot was coming. It was a beauty shot there. Sniped it right over him, but
it was beauty.
He needs to, I'm a little, I wouldn't say worried about Saros, but I don't know if they might have figured something out there with him. Just kind of, you got to go high on this guy. I would go high and just kind of, you got to just look at him leaning. He's a goalie that likes to lean a lot. His under saves though is just, it just came out now. I've noticed him 23.5, under 23.5 saves. I think I'm still going to take it though. Just the way this series has been going and the way the makeup of Nashville is, they're a bigger team that's not going to give you much. And the shots they are getting are right in front of Saros, I find. The medium danger shots for Vancouver, that's 27-17 over Nashville. High danger, both 7-7. It's really a tight series. The way I look at it, Jim, I have not much differential between the two. Low scoring, like I said, especially shots on goal for Vancouver. O'Reilly, he's a guy I would look for Nashville, though. If you want to take a shots on goal prop for Nashville here, he's a guy that just shows up in these situations, Jim. His over 2.5, I wasn't able to find it just because it's for tomorrow there. It just came out now. O'Reilly over 2 is, let me just pull it up here, guys. Sorry, just one sec. It is plus 210 on O'Reilly to get 3 shots on goal. I'm going to take that. I think that number is, that's a pretty high number for a guy. I know he hasn't had a lot of shots this year. I think he's averaged about probably nearly 2. I want to say 1.8, Jim. So I think he's just a guy in a big situation. He always seems to show up. So I'll take Riley shots on goal over 2.5 here, 365 plus 210, and then Saros under saves 23.5 at minus 110 here. Sidewise, Jim, I kind of lean towards Vancouver a little bit here. Goaltending wise, I would expect Silvos to go. But, DeSmith, he had that one game on the road. They won 2-1 game 3. He hasn't played in a while. I would still ride the hot hand with Silvos, but they do kind of have 2 goalies. Honestly, 3 with Demko out there. Their third goalie and Silvos. It's a good sign for this team. So I would kind of lean towards Vancouver, to be honest here.
I don't. And it's also, I was pronouncing wrong as well. It's not, it's she, it's a SH sound. It's she loves.
Yeah, I heard that.
O'Reilly over 2.5 shots, under 23.5 saves for Saros. And I am on the Nashville Predators, but I haven't bet yet. I think JP's having Vancouver's a better team. Maybe this will be my first taste of that disappointment. And shout out to my guy JPZ. JPZ, I got the greatest gift in the mail. It's the kids have it right now out in the living room. No, it's still in the box. I know they won't take it out of the case, but I got a really cool gift from our guy JPZ. I'll have it up and out for the horse races here. Okay, let's move on. Final game here before we get into MLB. 10 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. West first round game 6. Dallas Stars at the Vegas Golden Knights. We're at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. I know that there's people who are lamenting the over that looked like a done deal, but there's no room 5-on-5. Nobody's scoring 5-on-5 in this series. It's all power play scoring. They have the exact same special teams. Both are 33.3% on the power play. I like the move to Aiden Hill. I just think Aiden Hill has a higher upside than Logan Thompson. I like the move. I know people were probably questioning it after the first period. I think he's going to be fine. He didn't have a great game. 3.10 goals against average, 880 save percentage. And Ottinger now starting to play like the old Jay Ottinger. He's going to heat up. They're a dangerous hockey team. Let's go into the line history here for this one. We finally had a home team win a hockey game. You have Dallas at minus 108. They open up at minus 106. And total-wise here, we are sitting here with a 5.5 minus 114 to the over. And that's exactly where it opened. So it has not moved from that spot. We have a very, very good Dallas Stars team and a very, very good Vegas Golden Knights team. It's a great series. Jason Robertson scored the go-ahead goal. Wyatt Johnson, spectacular. It's only Robertson playing more than him. for forwards. Dodonov, Duchesne scored. Stone and Carrier scored. Aiden Hill, or for the Knights, and Aiden Hill made 22 saves. That's Stone's 100th overall playoff game. It's 73rd playoff game for Vegas. What a monster! Eichel assisted on Stone's goal. So Eichel has 7 points in this series, 5-game point streak. He's scored in each game. Hill was 11-4 in the playoffs last year. So I think he's the right guy. Ottinger got his 16th playoff victory. He seems to be rounding into form. That ties Don Beaupre for 5th in franchise history. The Stars have won 13 of 15 series when winning game 5 in the best of 7 series. And I mean, that's a little higher percentage than the average, but look, and this is a very different series than last year when Vegas knocked out Dallas. Vegas never trailed the Stars in the Western Conference final last year. They were in complete control. They won the first 3 games, remember? And then they won it in 6. So with all that said and done, I think that Vegas... Welcome, Robertson. That got me. I think that Vegas is going to show the heart of a champion and take this to 7 games. I'm also going to bet overtime again. My first overtime didn't get there. I'm going to bet it again. So I'm planning on being on Vegas, and I plan on being on overtime, but I want to hear your breakdown before I pull the trigger, and I want to hear everybody in the chat. Razor Sharp picks. First period over is 4-1 in this series. We're riding it again in game 6. Steve G says, best series so far. Western teams look dominant over the... I don't know about that yet, Steve. I'm not... It's just so... I've always found it so tricky to judge the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. But I hear what you're saying. Take it away, though, for us, Mr. Gogster. Stars Knights, our final NHL game on the slate.
Yeah, a tough spot for Hill, but I think with Thompson, guys, I think they kind of figured him out. His mechanics, Jim, I want to say, he just doesn't look very kind of some bad goals. He just doesn't look very comfortable in net at times there. Logan Thompson, kind of unorthodox, another righty glove too on him. But yeah, I would expect Hill to go here tonight, even though he's been on the shelf. He didn't look too bad there. Expected goals for, though, guys, and goals against, just some expected stats, just how they've been playing. 3.1 per 60 minutes. That's 5-on-5 compared to 1.77 for Vegas. So that's just kind of the opportunities that Dallas are having are kind of their grade A opportunities, where Vegas are kind of being held here. I'm just going to bring up quickly here, guys, some high danger. That's again, 13 for Dallas, high danger chances, only 7 for Vegas, and then medium danger shots here, Jim, 53-20 for Dallas. So they're all over. They're kind of skating. They're putting the pressure on the defense for Vegas, making it uncomfortable for the goalie too. And then Ottinger on the other side, he's just starting to get hot at the right time. They're finding ways to score, and they got a hot goalie right now. That's a good sign. They've won their last 3 in a row against a team we all thought was going to go deep after those 2 wins in Dallas. Issue, I think, with Vegas, guys, they're not playing a full 60 minutes. They haven't had the lead after the second period since game 2. Ottinger's looked really strong. They just haven't had – they're not going to go down easy, though, tonight. Don't get me wrong. All the stats are leaning towards Dallas, but anytime I was saying earlier on, guys, in the first game with Toronto-Boston, anytime you got a team up against the wall, especially at home, defending Stanley Cup champs, they're going to throw the kitchen sink at Dallas here, I think, tonight, Jim. But on the other side, I think Dallas are going to be able to score too. So I think there's going to be some goals tonight. I do. I think Ottinger has looked really good, but this is going to be the toughest game for him tomorrow in Vegas. So over 5.5, minus 114. That's what it was last night. Just going to quickly see here, Jim.
Yeah, that's not
minus,
moved.
Yeah, minus 114. I think that's the play, brother. I do.
I've changed my plan, and I wanted to talk it out. And this could blow up my face. This could be a tie. I love it, Jonathan Manson, too. Thank you for sharing that with us. I love it. Okay. I'm not going to take the draw. I think the Golden Knights go out and win this hockey game in regulation. I'm not going to take regulation, but I think the Golden Knights go out there and show that they're the defending Stanley Cup champions and then lose in Game 7 in Dallas. That's my script. Now, my scripts haven't been working so well in NHL, but that will be my script. So I'm going to cut the draw. I think the Knights take care of business in this hockey game. And the Gogsters on the over 5.5. Rich H says Dallas finishes it 4 wins in a row. Momentum in Vegas. Karma come home to roost. Everybody wants Vegas to lose. It's fun. I like being a part of that as well. But I think they take care of business. I think they take care of business at home. Dallas wins in Game 7. But I don't think I bet Dallas in Game 7, or I mean,
No,
God,
I think
too big
I
of a
think
favorite.
I think Dallas are gonna, as much as Vegas, if they can hold Vegas after the first period and not kind of be down 2 or 1 here, Jim. I think Dallas are going to win this game actually, because going to Game 7 in Dallas remind me of Toronto. They're just, it makes me a little bit nervous if they got to go Game 7 at home here. So more I'm thinking about it, I think Dallas might just 4 in a row here. They could do it on Friday, but it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a great game.
Well, but let me know if you add them. Tag me if you're going to add Dallas Stars, and we will add that to your record. That is our NHL breakdown for Thursday, May 2nd, and will help us cap for tomorrow's NHL action with Bobano. In review, I'm on the first period under 1.5 in Boston, Toronto tonight. That's my only bet. Yep. Gogster is on Marner over 2.5 shots at plus 104, and Gogster hit both of those goaltending save props last Thursday. He's on Saros under 23.5 shots for Friday action, and he's on under 23.5 saves, and he's on O'Reilly over 2.5 shots. I'm going to be on Nashville, and I'm going to be on Vegas, and I'm going to keep it clean. Oh, I love it, DK. Nice job, my man. I'm going to keep it clean. I'm going to keep it very clean. I'm not going to add the draw. I think Vegas wins the hockey game. So we'll see if that ends up upsetting me. And Gogster is on the over 5.5. Gogster, thank you so much for rocking with us all year long on Thursdays and on Tuesdays with Peter Loshak before when I was handling NFL. Thank you so much. Please support Gogster on X at Gogster99. Gogster, any golf info, anything you want the chat to know about?
A golf update here. I believe Noren is leading the way there, or sorry, Wallace. I didn't do as many outrights, Jim. I haven't hit many outrights, but my matchup bets have been really hot this year. So I tweeted out some matchup bets in the golf this week, guys. But something coming up on May the 10th, Jim, next week there. I know it's going to be May the 9th, but World Championship of Hockey. I'm going to have some World Championship of Hockey. I'm going to break that down. There's been no update on the team yet for Canada. I think they're waiting just to the end of the first round. As soon
as Crosby's in, we immediately bet Canada.
It's a deep team. So I'm gonna have some picks there for you guys. The World Championship, May 9th there, Jim, next week. So I'm gonna look forward to that. It's one of the better tournaments. They got Bedard's there. He's already been confirmed. So and the American team looks damn good too. So some good hockey coming up here, guys. Golf as always, Jim, and then Saturday. I'll see you guys Saturday too for the horses there. I got nothing going on Saturday, so gonna have some drinks and cap some horse with you guys.
I absolutely love it. And Ergo Classic is going to be at the quarterfinals. I love it. Remember, Sid's never won the World Championships.
Oh, there's a time to go.
He needs it. He needs to put it all together. And so as soon as Sidney Crosby announces he's in, it's probably going to be like plus 150 or plus 175. And you might think that's not risk reward, and that's fair because it is a future bet. You might not find it, but I'm going to be hammering it. Gogster, excellent work, my man. And Jay Stone says, sorry, not sorry. This stars all day long. Every time Vegas throws a punch, Dallas has 2. The ability to respond is what I want to put my money on. I love it. I love it, Jay Stone. It's going to be fun. This is what it's all about. And we'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow as well. Mr. Gogster, thank you so much for your time. Any last words for the Capper Sport and the show?
Oh, get that cash, guys. Good seeing you as always on Thursdays. Old E, everyone else, Nuke, good seeing you, buddy. Christopher NG, Philly Flyer, all the OGs here, PZ, Steve G. Thanks for tuning in, guys, for the hockey segment, and enjoy the rest of the show, Jim. We'll catch you next Thursday, guys.
I love it. There he is, Mr. Gogster. And let's take a quick look, very, very quick look at the playoff pool, because it is not TJ that Earl Sports has to worry about. It's my mom. It's my mom, and she could have all 20 players moving on to the next round, and she will be in first place at the end of the first round as well, because it depends. She needs at least 2 points from Hintz, who's got none, Wyatt Johnson, Jason Robertson. Pavelski has none, and Hintz has 1. So, but she's going to have all 20 players if Dallas continues their run moving on to the next round. Mama Bag looking for that cash. Mama Bag looking for that cash. We have 30 entries, so the winner gets 900 American. Top 3 get paid. Top 10% get paid. Okay, it is time to get into Major League Baseball, and our producer of the show and the star of MLB programming here on Pop Sports Radio is running spectacularly well, and we need it to continue. He has now hit a high watermark on the year, plus 26 units. What is the exact number? We should give out the exact number because it's absolutely spectacular. 26.67 units, ROI plus 11.87%. And that is over 195 bets. of course, not including pushes. He is running real nice, and we must keep it going. Please welcome to the show from San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101 and Pub Sports Radio. Please welcome Jose Bouquett to the show. Jose, how are you, my friend?
Good. I haven't been under attack for about an hour now, so I think my nerves are gone, and I think I'm okay.
I like to hear that. But whatever's been happening in that household, we just want to keep it the same. And if you get rid of the raccoons and you start losing, we will get raccoons and we will bring them back.
That's fine. That's fair. They're apparently they live above my ceiling and below my neighbor's floor. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this all shakes down for them.
We'll look forward to the continued updates of Raccoon Gate in San Antonio. Let's get to work. We start at 12:10 p.m. Eastern. This is the third day of the year I've been in the black. I was in the black the first 2 days of the year, and I am back. Trying to follow your lead, Jose. I am back. We have a game that pops off here in 23 minutes. The Colorado Rockies 7-23, 2-13 on the road to the Miami Marlins, 8-24, 4-15 at home. We're at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. We have Peter Lambert on the mound, not Peter Lambert. He's not from Chicoutimi. Peter Lambert on the bump for the Colorado Rockies.
Have you been to Chicoutimi?
I have not been to Chicoutimi. No, I've not. I've been to Gatineau.
Sure.
It's just right across the bridge from Ottawa. It's Hull. But I've not been to Chicoutimi. Let's get here. We have Major Tom says raccoons grave bloody tits. That might be true. That might be true. Sean Pulliam has moved on Colorado team total over 3.5. Chosen One has moved on Marlins, Rockies, Nerfy, and Rangers team total over 4.5. We'll get into that one. Sean Pulliam on Colorado first half and Wine Time Sports here on Rockies money line and the under 7.5. And Earl Sports Bets has the announcement Matthews is out tonight.
He's kind of a wussy, huh?
We don't know. It's one of those weird things where you just don't know. And I don't want to. I feel. I always get nervous, when I have no idea what the situation is. It's like when someone takes a leave of absence from their team. I'm very hesitant to say anything because it could be something absolutely hard. Like I just don't know. I have no idea what the hell's going on, and I feel I'm a little uncomfortable making statements on it until we know what the hell's going on. And thank you, Earl, for that update. And Troy Torrence says this total ticking down and razor sharp picks. $300 bet Rockies Marlins under 7.5 at -110. So razor sharp. This is not a gambler's first glance, but it is a move from razor sharp picks. There's Mikey Money in the house. Mikey Money coming off a monster day yesterday as well. So we have Peter Lambert. Let's get into the line history here and the cash flow. Let's get this all set up. We'll be moving faster as we go through the afternoon MLB action. Here we go. We have these Rockies right now, and these are going to be pinnacle market moves. We have the Rockies right now at +150. They opened up at +147. They were at +138 at 10:30 in the morning when they were at +134 at 4:49 in the morning. So at some point, there was clear concern by the books that they'd given us a too high of a line. That's come back. So we've had a 4-cent move to the Marlins at this point. And when we get to the total here, we are dealing with a 7.5 at a pick'em. This opened up at 8.5. And it was at 8.5 for 5.5 hours. It wasn't a small amount of time. And now it's at 7.5. And we've seen Jose, and we've heard this from experienced cappers that we rock with, like Sean Higgs, that he gets more confident when it goes from, 8 to 8 or 8.5 to 8 to 7.5. Maybe that full, maybe it's more of an 8 to 7.5 rather than a full run move, and he can touch on that. But it worked again for him in the Oakland game. I paid for the 8. So I made a little bit of less money. I don't bet to win a unit. You guys know how I do things, but. April 25th was Peter Lambert's last appearance. So he's 2-1 with a 4.67 ERA, 1.33 whip, 15 Ks and 17 and 30. He's only allowed one jack. He's been okay this year. His last appearance was quite good, 2 2/3, 10-9 win at home over the Padres. Didn't allow a run, didn't get a strikeout, didn't get a walk. His last start was April 21st, and he got lit up. That's the only time he's been lit up this year. 3 innings, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 5 Ks, no walks, 10-2 loss at home versus Mariners. So does he not handle starting? Is he just not mentally equipped? Now, he's been in the league for a while. It's not like something that he should not be mentally equipped for. Going up against Edward Cabrera. You don't want the eye test with Edward Cabrera because you watch him pitch and you think this guy has incredible stuff. Then you read his numbers. His last start was an 11-4 loss at home versus the Nationals, 4 1/3, 4 hits, 6 runs, 5 of which were earned, 1 homer, 4 Ks, and 2 walks. Cabrera has a 5.28 ERA, 1.43 whip, 21 strikeouts and 15 1/3. No one's ever questioned whether or not he can get, strikeouts. He's got electric stuff. It just doesn't seem to work for him. JPZ saying Cabrera averaging a run an inning. Troy Torrence says, I repeat, Marlins are 1-5 straight up of favorites of -140 or bigger, but this is the biggest line of the season at -170. If the Cartel says Lambert will probably go 2 or 3 innings and the Rockies bullpen will be giving up runs, and Cabrera really hasn't been too good neither. Another thing about guys who are, fading the Rockies whenever they have a lead, or like Billy Friedrich, I almost said Brisbane. Billy Friedrich said, did you notice that the White Sox gave up that lead again? Billy Friedrich is eating off any time the White Sox have a lead. And it's not even a sweat. I mean, what was the final score yesterday? 10-5? So keep in mind what these cappers are doing and what they're succeeding with. Rockies versus righties, 239, 674 OPS. Marlins versus righties, 230, 634 OPS. Rockies bullpen has been terrible. 5.50 ERA, 1.63 whip. They've converted 3 of 6 save opportunities. And then we have a really ugly bullpen in Miami as well. It's not been quite as bad. 4.66 ERA, 1.49 whip, converted 5 of 13 save opportunities. Let's see where the cash is for this one and then hand it over to the hottest MLB capper in the industry, our Jose Bouquett. Marlins have 89% of tickets and 76% of the cash. Now, we have seen a late move towards them. If there wasn't, I imagine that it would become very appealing to be on the Rockies. 75% of tickets and 73% of cash is on the over, and it's dropped a full run. Take it away, Jose Bouquett. Our first game on the board. First pitch is in 17 minutes. Rockies, Marlins.
Yeah, no, Razor laid it out under. I just bet it. 7.5 -115. Does it make me a little nervous that I'm taking a full run under? Yeah, but I'll still roll my dice here. I haven't had too many issues with that, honestly, all year, where I'm betting like a half run or a full run worse than the original line, and it comes back to bite me in the ass. I think this is just like, a sleepy morning game in Miami that not a fucking soul is going to be there. Both teams, well, I don't know who the Marlins play next, but I'm assuming the Rockies are just going to want to get the fuck out of there, blah, 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 go home. But I think this is a sleepy spot. And the Rockies, it's probably a bullpen day. And I looked at the Rockies bullpen, and you won't know anyone really in the bullpen. But it's pretty rested, like Jake Bird threw 17 pitches yesterday. I expect him to go again today if need be. And Nick Mears also threw 19 pitches yesterday. I expect him to go if need be. So I took the under here. I think both these offenses are just bad enough to get us under.
Yeah, I get it. I'm not going to join in on it. But I completely understand the process. And what do you, when you said you're nervous about the full run down to the under compared to the half run, how much is that going to play a role in your action as you move forward?
We'll see. Today will be one of those examples I have to think about.
How many do you have? How many times have you done this when it's dropped a full run?
It's not many, but I don't recall me getting fucked by any of them. I can't. Unfortunately, I don't have a full Rolodex of my bets in my head. But I don't think I've been fucked by it too bad this year. So that's why I don't mind at all jumping in. There's another, I guess it's the last game on the card, another big line movement there. And it's dog prices. So if it's a little better, but I definitely don't mind jumping in at worse prices, honestly.
Troy Torrence just moved on the Marlins first 5 -1/2 and Rockies first 5 team total under 1.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd be, I bet against the Marlins every time as dogs or as favorites against the Nationals at cash. Today, I think it's a little different because I think Edward, coming off a bad start, I think we'll have a good one here, as everyone seems to think as well.
And TJ on the other side of that first 5 spot here. So
it's going to be low scoring.
All right, that is our game 1. A lot of action here. Jose on the under 7.5, Razor on the under 7.5, Saturated on McMahon over a half, hit TJ on the Rockies first 5. I imagine that's plus a half. You can confirm that at TJ with a low implied volatility. I can understand why that would be appealing. And Kelly McInnes on the other side believes there'll be runs scored. He's on the over and the Marlins. Truth teller on the Marlins. So a lot of people looking at that first 5. I'm going to let this one go. But if it was solely bet on market, I'd be with you guys. And I'd share the same concern that Jose does, that has dropped the full run. Okay. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. 1:05 p.m. Eastern, New York Yankees 20-12, 12-7 on the road. Baltimore Orioles 19-11, 11-7 at home. Your confidence in the Yankees yesterday helped push me towards the Yankees. And Luis Gil shoved. The market announced that the Yankees were extremely live in the spot, and it just worked.
He's in my rotation. Luis Gil. Love that guy.
It just worked. Here we go. Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Joe Yurkovich says, look at Jose's shining record. Wine Time Sports on the Orioles money line at plus 100. Let's get into this Yankees-Orioles spot. This total sitting at 9 minus 110 to the under. Opened up minus 102 to the under with an 8-cent move towards that under. Let's get into the money line here for this one. On the money line, we are sitting here at Pinnacle with the Orioles and Kyle Bradish at plus 102. This line came out at 8:30 this morning, and that was when Bradish was announced, I believe, because I couldn't get it earlier, but Bradish announced, and then there's been this huge move to the Baltimore Orioles. Hard not to acknowledge it. It was plus 125 at 8:54 in the morning, and it was plus 105 at 10:01 in the morning. So an hour and 6 minutes and a 20-cent move to the Baltimore Orioles. Billy Friedrich says this looks like another full game under. Let's pull all of the pertinent information up here. Cash-wise, 66% of tickets, 60% of the cash on the under. What was that? Sorry, what was the total? What did the total do again? Sorry, so we had this huge move to the Orioles. I guess I got a little caught up with that big move. And on the total, we have the 8-cent move to the under at 9. 8-cent move to the under 9. Let's see if the weather is going to help here. It is 9 miles per hour, 86 Fahrenheit. It's hot, thank God. 9 miles per hour out to right field, between 9 and 10.6 miles per hour. It's a warm, hot, pretty offensive weather. Cash-wise, as I said, 66% of tickets, 60% cash on the under. It's moved towards the under. And on the money line here, 75% of tickets and 71% of the cash on the New York Yankees. So here we have Bradish. This is going to be a really interesting 48 hours for anyone with Orioles futures or interested in Orioles futures. Grayson Rodriguez goes on to the IL 15-day with the shoulder injury. And they have John Means on Bradish on Thursday. John Means on either Friday or Saturday. So Bradish had the sprained UCL as soon as he reported to spring training. Like what we've been talking about with McKenzie and others, he avoided surgery and rest and rehab. Brought him back here. So he had a 3-start minor league rehab assignment. Last Friday with AAA Norfolk, he struck out 6 over 5 innings, allowed 1 run, 5 hits, 1 walk, through 77 pitches. And, you know, there is some restrictions in place. We're not sure exactly what they're going to be. And we remember what he did last year. You know, he was their best pitcher, 2.83 ERA, 1.04 whip. He was very, very, very good. And we should trust the market here, shouldn't we? Or should we trust? You expected Carlos Rodon to have this big bounce back year, Jose. He did exactly that. 2-1, 2.48 ERA, 1.19 whip, 30 Ks over 32 2/3, 14 walks, 3 homers. He looked very good in his last start at the Brewers. You know, Orioles versus lefties, 270, 792. Yankees versus righties, 248, 759. Yankees bullpen, 2.53 ERA, 1.12 whip. It's the same whip as the Orioles bullpen, but the Orioles are allowing 1.16 runs more over 9 innings. The Yankees bullpen converted 14 and 19 saves, while the Orioles have converted 9 of 16. Here we go. Jose Bouquett, Yankees, Orioles, Camden Yards. Take it away.
Yeah, I find this to be really difficult You said the market comes out pretty late because they announced Bradish. I thought they were going to throw Means today, and then they go out with Bradish. I thought Bradish was pretty surprising. No spring training starts, just rehabbing. 3 rehab starts. You mentioned his last one. He did have a bad one, 3 1/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, but it makes me feel better that he bounced back with that 5-inning, one hit or 1 earned run performance. That makes me feel a lot better. I agree with everyone saying the under here. I just haven't moved on this game. I guess I need the market to, mature a little bit, as they say in the business. But honestly, I like the Yankees here to start this off, and the market seems to be going against me. So I stayed off. I just thought it was interesting that 75% of the bets and 70-some% of the money were on the Yankees here. And we obviously had to move to the Orioles, but I think the line, I think this line's been out for 2 hours. So I just needed some more time first.
3.5 hours at Pinnacle. And we only have about an hour and 9. Well, not about. We only have an hour and 9 minutes left.
Yeah.
Perky says Yankees money line Bradish first start will get touched.
This was the game I wanted to bet very badly, but couldn't or didn't find anything to have an advantage on, because this is obviously the best game of the day, So,
well, can we go over your bullpen exhaustion information, if you could do that for us? Last game we saw Ferguson, Hamilton, and Holmes. Holmes still has yet to allow a run.
Well, Baltimore's bullpen is completely fresh. I just refreshed one more time just to make sure, but Baltimore is completely fresh. They only used Bauman yesterday, apparently, so you're good there. And obviously, like you said, Clay Holmes, I assume not available today. 23 pitches yesterday, looked disgusting as well, but 23 pitches, and then everyone else is probably good to go for the Yankees.
Troy Torrence says he's on the under 9 here. Says Yankees on the road, Public's on the Yankees and the under, 6-1 to the under. Orioles at home, Public on the road team and the under, 3-0 to the under. I don't see why. I have no problem with Bradish coming in here.
I think this is an under game. I would agree with that. I think TJ was the one that said that these games would be very intense, playoff kind of atmosphere, because obviously I think right now they're both tied for the division. They were at least going into it. It's very close, and I think these teams are going to battle it out all year. But I'm just obviously, my concerns were Bradish coming back first start. I don't know if I could trust him. The Orioles, who we have not mentioned, destroy lefties. Hammer them from the 21st of this past month to today. Orioles 157 plate appearances, 140 weighted runs created plus. Full season, they're third, 129. And I don't trust Bradish coming back. Honestly, I need to see a start or two before I start betting on him. So again, I can see all the arguments for the under. I like the under here as well, but it's just at the end of the day, 2 pitchers that I don't trust here. And I will say, Rodon, I did just make a quick list of my pitchers. I put Rodon on my short list of my rotation guys. He's on it for sure. He's probably the swing man getting kicked out for Austin Gomber or Paul Blackburn. But I just couldn't get there. I went back and forth.
I think I'm going to get there. A full game under 9. For me, I think I'm going to get there. Justin McKelvey says he wants to target Bradish. It is a little different when you have younger pitchers coming in, but he knows he's the ace of the staff. And I think that this line move towards the Orioles indicates that Bradish is going to be just fine here. And I also think it indicates that what you talked about, the Orioles left against lefties. But Carlos Rodon is shoving right now. So I'm pretty comfortable here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick with I'm going to stick with it. I like Troy's angles, and I like what TJ's been doing in the series. I like the breakdown completely. So
yeah, and TJ, by the way, good point. One last good point. They obviously aren't going to rush Kyle Bradish back. He's the best pitcher in the organization, by far. So if he's back, he's 100% ready to go. I just my concern's not injury wise. It's just you haven't seen major league bats in a full speed game in a long time. So
Mushy Justin in the house. Shoving just means he's going to pitch very well. Shove means he's going to force the issue. He's going to pitch to the best of his abilities when we say shove.
yes. And by the way, that Pacers line is crashing because apparently Giannis and Dame are going to try to play today.
Which is exactly what we want. We want Giannis
Yeah.
and Dame to be announced in and then fade them. But we need to know that Halliburton's healthy, and we're going to talk about all of these things. But this is exactly what we want. And that was my expectation coming into the cap, was that they were both going to play. So, okay. Let's roll. We move on. Jose staying off that under 9, which makes me a little nervous being on it. Let's roll. 1:10 p.m. Eastern. We have Gerald Jones leading us into this one. He has his best bet on the Chicago Cubs money line. Chicago Cubs 19-12, 9-9 on the road. The New York Mets 15-15, 8-10 at home. Citi Field in Queens, New York. Let's get into the line history here.
I would like to think what Mushy Justin, what he thought shoving meant. I would love to hear what you have to say, Mushy, what you thought shoving was before then.
Citi Field in Queens, New York. Let's get into the line history here for this spot. Mostly clear, 67 Fahrenheit, 7.8 miles per hour to left center. Gets up to 75 in the afternoon. Not as hot as Charm City. Ben Brown. What an interesting guy Ben Brown is. I mean, how few of these guys make it. My buddy was a 33rd round draft pick in high school, and never heard from him again.
I wonder what my buddy's draft pick round was again.
Which who's that?
The guy that's in the Astros organization right now. 28th round, actually. So I just looked that up. He just texted me the other day, and he's like, my locker's right beside Jose Abreu's. And I was like, well, that's fucking hilarious.
That's cool. That's cool. My buddy Matt Huntingford never heard from him again. I have no idea what the hell happened to him, but he was drafted and helped him get tail. Here we go. 33rd round pick in the 2017 draft out of Ward Melville High School in East Sawtucket, New York. Let's break down this pitcher because he's earned everything that he has been given. He's starting in rookie ball, and he pitched well everywhere. He just now, I mean, in high A, maybe he was there a little too early as a 21-year-old. He got touched up, but a very small sample size.
You're warm on Ben Brown here. You're giving him.
I love
these lather.
I in all sports. When you force your way into the league, I love it. I fucking love it. I love it. It shows determination. It shows character. It shows heart. It shows everything that I want in somebody that I'm going to bet money on. So, when Willie Nylander's dad is a phenomenal NHL hockey player, and he has everything given to him in life, and he sits out for a few games with a headache, I don't know what to think. And I'm not going to say anything negative about it. Migraines are a tough thing, but I mean, I don't know. I prefer these guys who force the issue. So in 2023, he started in AA. He had 4 starts. He was absolutely dominant. He allowed 1 earned run in 20 innings. They move him up to AAA. Again, he's just 23. The average age in AAA is 26, almost 27.
Boy.
What's up?
Sabino's back.
Oh, Sabino.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Yes. My favorite bet back again. Oh, man. I love it. God, I love this. I love it. Retirement play of the day, Sabino. And I think it was on the Mets last time, too.
Sabino did this. He said we would never hear from him again. And he won. By the way, Nutflush, comparing the pigeons on my balcony to the raccoons for Jose. Yes.
I'd rather have pigeons.
In AAA, he struggled. 72 and 2/3, 1.53 WHIP. He has come in here and he started 3 games. He's been out of the bullpen in 7 games. They obviously like this kid. And I think he's got a ton of character to have this opportunity. His last start, he went 3 2/3. It was a 17-0 loss at the Red Sox.
I was on the Red Sox that day. I bet the Red Sox and successfully won. That was a proud moment in my life.
So Sabino is fading Ben Brown, who's earned everything he's been given in life.
Fuck Sabino.
With Adrian Hauser. Adrian Hauser turned into a pumpkin after that great start to the season. He's not good at home or on the road. Now, we used to be able to trust him in Milwaukee. He's coming off a home start where he got touched up by the Cardinals, 4 in the third, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 Ks, 2 walks, 8.37 ERA, 1.90 whip. He's got 16 walks and 14 strikeouts. Cubs first righties, 228, 671 OPS. They're not hitting them. Mets first righties, 235, 681 OPS. Cubs bullpen, 4.43 ERA, 1.40 whip, converted 10 of 16, while the Mets bullpen's been very, very good. 2.77 ERA, 1.10 whip, converted 8 of 11. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Sabino laying it all on the line. This total opened up at 8.5. It dropped to 8, went back up to 8.5 multiple times. 8, 8.5, 8, 8.5. Now it's 8. It's minus 101 to the under. So it's a legit 8. On the money line here for this spot, looks like some raccoon action here for Jose Bouquett. I hope he comes back bleeding. I think that would be the best case scenario for our show, is if he came back bleeding. We have on the money line here. Let's go up here. Are you bleeding?
No, you're good. You're good. Yes, and it is a good story for the podcast. Yes, the raccoon is causing havoc over here, Jimmy. So we're just it's a unit together trying to battle the raccoons over here.
I like it. Mets open up minus 107. They're now minus 109. 2 cents of movement there. 2 cents of movement. That's it. So let's take a look at the cash flow for this spot. We have 35% of the tickets and 54% of the cash on the Chicago Cubs. And on the total, we have 57% of tickets and 70% of the cash on the over. 70% of the cash on the over, and this is kept dropping down to 8 and then back up to 8.5. JPZ says Cubs was a nice win yesterday. Mets got to be livid. Got to be livid. So here we go. Jose Bouquett, Sabino, and Guano putting it all on the line here on his New York Metropolitans, Citi Field, New York. What's your plan?
It's a tough game to put your whole career on the line on there, Sabino. I respect the fuck out of the retirement.
I don't
bets.
want to lose him. I don't want to.
I don't either. But he's putting it all on the line. If he's willing to put his whole career on the line for one bet, then I respect the fuck out of it. Do I think his bet wins today? I don't actually. I think the Cubs win this game, which is what makes it even funnier to me. Funny
that we're going to lose a friend. We're going to lose.
We are, yeah. Apparently, Sabino, and that's his choice, Jimmy. It's his choice. But I love Sabino. I love the big balls that he has on him here.
No, Sabino says we'll never hear from him again. If the Mets, I don't know, Sabino, don't do this. Don't do this to us.
Sabino, it's quite funny. I liked Ben Brown here, and I thought he was going to get touched up last time because they pulled him out of his rhythm. He started the first few games, was dominant, great. And then they throw him into the bullpen because they didn't want to lose him to, Double-A or whatever the fuck. And then they throw him back in the rotation and they fuck him up. Now, on the second start here, coming back into the groove, I kind of like him here, truthfully. But I'm not going to bet on this game. I'm going to be very, very interested to see how this game goes. Again, we see our guy Troy in the background. I feel like we have to bring in Troy whenever we talk Cubs here, Troy Torrence. So, Troy, can you tell us some Cubs thoughts here? If you throw a thumb up, I'll bring you up. I don't want to bring you up unwanted. Oh, there he is. Here's Troy Torrence. Hello, Troy. Nice to see you. Cubs thoughts. Oh, actually, more importantly, what does your dad think?
My dad is a Ben Brown backer. My dad is the biggest skeptic in the world after being a Cubs fan his whole life. He doesn't put a lot of money down on the Cubs games. He bets the team total over, Cubs to make the playoffs like he did this year, but he moved on this game. So when I see my dad move on Ben Brown, that's, the first element, the first variable I'm looking at. And then I got some data to back it up in the database. And that is, I know this market is a little bit different from what Jimmy's looking at, but home teams that close between minus 114, minus 104, market moves towards the road team and the total's less than 8.5. The road team is 29-12 straight up, but the run line, it's actually going to be basically what I'm seeing is the Cubs are going to win by 1 run. It's going to be a 1-run ball game like it has been all series. Cubs win.
Fuck Sabino. Good luck. Thank you, Troy.
So it looks like we're not going to see Sabino for a long, long time.
No, it's ever again. And that's what I hate. I too much on the line on this one. We're gonna lose a friend today.
Yeah, we are. Fuck. Thank you, Troy.
I don't like it.
Fuck yeah. Hey, Sabino, good luck, buddy. Are you on the Cubs?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
No,
it's
I'm
because
not.
it sounded like you lathered up Ben Brown because you were about to back him there, and I thought you were about to take out Sabino at back yourself and old yeller him.
I don't feel like there is enough here for me to move on it, really. I mean, there's been a very slight move to the Mets. We have 7. What is it? 7. Let me go to all markets here. Sorry, we have.
God, I love Sabino, man. I fucking love Sabino.
65% of the tickets, 46% of cash. I see that the Cubs are slightly sharp, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, it's why? Because people know Sabino Anguano's got his fucking career on the line here with the Mets. They know. Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch this game again and just think about Sabino Anguano for the next 24 hours.
Dabby Cab in the house. What up, Dabby? Off a winning day yesterday, 5-1. His last 6 picks on the show. And Juan Ruiz, he's got a bunch of Mets fans. They all agree with him.
I don't know what's gonna be more funny to me. Sabino coming back a conquering hero, or just not seeing Sabino ever again. I don't know what will make me laugh harder. The next day, I just expect Sabino, and he's just not there. It's gonna be like fucking How About Them Apples, that movie. I'm gonna go to his fucking doorstep, and he's not gonna be there.
See, you're young. You expect to have friends all the time. I'm 44. I know that friends are not easy. Real friends are not easy. We're about to lose one of them.
That's true.
Makes me a little nervous here.
True.
Makes me a little nervous here. But Mikey Money says Met spots here. Revenge after 1-run loss, and the favorite 13-3 this MLB season. Okay, so did Troy bet the Cubs? He did bet the Cubs.
Yep, I bet it at -107 Cubs.
Fuck.
Okay,
Troy's taking Sabino out back today and just old yellering him, huh? You're just putting him out of his misery.
Listen, I look for any reason to back the Cubs, and if my dad is actually betting an individual game, I'm moving with him. That's pretty much it. And I found some supporting data for it. I know usually I would put a lot less equity when you see difference between markets, between Pinnacle and the book I use, which I like to keep a little bit sheltered right now. But yeah, I usually try to stay away from that spot, not put too much weight into that because you got a little bit difference in the markets. But yeah, I moved on the Cubs.
Is this your first official MLB pick of the season here on Pub Sports Radio? Because we'll be tracking a record, and as soon as we focus solely on baseball, you're going to be more involved in our baseball capping. Is this your first official pick of the year?
No, I think I went 4-1 on Jose's show on Sunday. I went.
Yeah, it's his first betting with the bag one, but he went on with me and dominated. So yeah, first betting with the bag though.
But yeah, this is first betting with the bag. We don't count
with the bag. Yep.
Yeah. Is this it? Is this our?
I don't want to go official with this one without going official with the other ones that I made because I'm more confident in the first few plays that I made.
All right. Well, I will press delete multiple times there. We have Joe Yurkovich's retirement gift play of the day. The Cubs -103.
God, man, it's gonna be such a good game now. Such a good game.
All right, let's roll on. We go from Citi Field in Queens, New York, to Fenway Park in Boston. San Francisco Giants 14-17, 5-10 on the road at the Boston Red Sox, 18-13, 7-8 at home. If you knew that the Red Sox were 7-8 at home, would you think they could possibly be 5 games over 500 on the year? I'm very interested in your Josh Winkowski breakdown. That's your job here in this show, is to give us a great Josh Winkowski breakdown. Now, we don't expect to see him very long. He was a part of your Red Sox victory, that 17-0 victory over the Cubs, 3 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1K, 0 walks. He did start that game. We haven't seen him pitch more than those 3 innings. There's our guy, Eldorado Custodian in the house, Jason Meyer. What up? Okay. No, TJ, we are not rooting for retirement. There are some cappers in the chat that I believe are, and I don't like it. I do not like it. I
want Sabino back. I want him back
badly.
I've got no money on the game, but goddamn, am I interested?
We have 64 Fahrenheit in Boston, 9.6 miles per hour to left center. It dies down to 8.5 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this spot. We have the Boston Red Sox right now at minus 115. They opened up at minus 109. There's been 6 cents of movement in their direction. By the way, first, if I'm led to believe the site here, it's runner on second here for the Marlins against Peter Lambert. Now we have 2 men on against Peter Lambert. But here we go.
We have full game.
Say what, my man?
I love how we have full game.
You.
Oh, you have first 5?
I have nothing.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were on. Okay. Thank God.
No, it's that under 9, which I'm going to have to bet here, I guess. I didn't realize that. The under 9, I'm going to have to bet Yankees, Baltimore. I'm going to have to bet that during the show. Thank you for even saying that, because I need to refocus. Here in this total for San Francisco, Boston, it's now at 9.5. So it opened up at 9. We've gone up a half run from 9 to 9.5. Let's get into the X's and O's and the cash flow. From a cash flow perspective, we have 19% of the tickets and 21% of the cash on the over. Wow.
Come on, Jimmy.
We have not been seeing that. Wouldn't you agree that almost all of the big moves that we've made are towards the under because everybody's betting the over?
Yeah, I've bet very few overs this year. I could actually probably control F and see how many I've bet. But they've obviously been in these very same circumstances.
Wow. And my guy, Kyle Harrison, after making me feel so cash, I wish I had more, but I only took that the under 2.5 with Priester and Harrison. And
the thing, I say that the Sox suck against lefties.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I wanted. Wow. Yep. 81% of the tickets, 79% of the cash on the under. We have 82% of tickets and 70% of cash on the Boston Red Sox. 82 and 70 on the Red Sox. This is a fascinating market. It looks like we will be involved in this baseball game. All that money on the Red Sox, they're sitting at minus 115, opening up minus 109. I don't know if that 6 cents is enough. And there was no movement until just recently. Interesting. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is in. It is Boston first 5. Wine Time saying he's only been betting unders lately. I get it. I'm right there with you. But it's all. I mean, I've always gravitated towards enjoying people failing. So here we go. Spreadsheet play of the day is the Boston Red Sox first 5, backing Winkowski and expecting these Red Sox to get the job done against lefties. And they hit lefties better than the Giants hit righties. Shout out to our guy, Ron Crawford. Steve G saying Wall confirmed. Yeah, we're all that's the full plan here. Much love, Sabino. Good luck at work, and we will see you tomorrow. Good
luck, Sabino.
Kyle Harrison coming off his first great start. San Francisco, it was at home, 6 innings, 7 Ks, no walks. It was very, very impressive. Very impressive. Giants rating 235, 675 OPS versus righties. Giants have the second worst bullpen league, 5.51 ERA, 1.42 WHIP, have converted 5 of 8 save opportunities. If the Red Sox back end of the bullpen could convert saves, they would have one of the best bullpens in the league because they're 3.36, 1.20 WHIP, but they've only converted 8 of 15 save opportunities. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett, Giants, Red Sox.
Yeah, so I just looked up. I have bet 4 overs this year. Only 4. I'm 3-1, which is kind of nice. But my totals record in general has been ridiculous this year. But yeah, I'm on the over. I mean, I've lost, and by the way, a 3-1 on those 4 overs. So I'm on the over. It doesn't make sense to me, like really, because again, I've said all year the Red Sox suck against lefties. Blah blah blah. But it seems like today's the day they hit Kyle Harrison, who has, he pitched really well last time out against Pittsburgh, but I think Pittsburgh sucks. But the rest of his starts have been, 3, 4 runs the whole time. I think the Red Sox could do that. And the thing that maybe is a little more concerning as a Red Sox fan, I guess, more than a bettor, is that this total movement makes me feel like this bullpen day is going to go horrible for the Red Sox. I expect Winkowski to go 3. But who knows? Again, I don't expect him to go more than 3, but he could go less, obviously, because he gets touched up here. And then bullpen usage-wise, everyone should be available. Weissert threw 18 and 13 in the last 2 days, so he probably isn't, if the only person. But that leaves us with, again, Kelly Jansen will probably pitch today. Cam Boozer is okay, not great. Bernardino pitched on Tuesday. He's good. Slayton's fine. So I will probably just bet the over in this game, 9.5.
Well. Interesting. And did you have a lean to a side, or were you staying off? I know it's the Red Sox game, so I don't want to put that's I don't want to talk about that anymore. Not betting Red Sox, any of that stuff.
Yeah. Sidewise, I'd probably lean towards the Red Sox. This is for the sweep, actually, which is crazy. Jimmy, the Red Sox are sneaky good this year. The issue, obviously, is 82% of the bets and 70% of the money on the Red Sox. The line has moved their direction, which does make me feel better. So I beat Red Sox or pass. But I am going to be on the over. I have to bet it, actually. I have not bet it yet, but it's 9.5. Around even money for me. I'll let you know what it is right now.
I'm gonna have to get these two bets in as well. I'm gonna join you on the over 9.5 here.
Minus 105 for me now. So that was even money at the beginning of the show. It's moving towards the over again. All that money on the under. Blah 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 blah.
I'm in. I am in. I'm going to join you. My dude confident on the under, which makes me uncomfortable, but I'm going to be on the under 9 in Yankees, Orioles, the over 9.5 in Giants, Red Sox. And I'm going to need to bet these when you are giving your breakdown here of Nats, Rangers. Let's get to work here. 2:35 p.m. Eastern with the Washington Nationals, 15 and 15, 11 and 7 on the road. The Texas Rangers, 16 and 15, 9 and 9 at home at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Oh, here's something important. I made a mistake here. Oh, and we have also Razor on the over as well. Razor on that over 9.5. I was wrong about the Mariners' roof yesterday. 51 Fahrenheit, that roof was open. And I stopped Dabby Cab talking about it because I was certain the roof was going to be closed. That was a big mistake by me. He was only giving us important information. So I really apologize for that. That's not a good look. I couldn't believe it. 51 Fahrenheit. So I've got to figure out what's going on if they're, if on nice days and it's over 50, are they going to have the roof open all the time? So that was a mistake by me, and I apologize to all of you guys. So here, let's roll with this one. Washington Nationals, Texas Rangers. Let's find out if the roof, at least we know with this one, if it's 65 to 80, that the roof will be open. Let's get to it right now. 77 Fahrenheit at first pitch. So it's between 65 and 80. That means this roof will be open for this baseball game today. 9 miles per hour out to left field and to about 7.5 here. So here we go. We have Mitchell Parker, the lefty, and I have all of his information up here. I didn't know much about him until I dove in on him, and we will talk about him here. The lefty, 2-0, 1.69 ERA, 0.94 whip. He's been spectacular to start off the year. Coming off 11-4 win at the Marlins, 4 innings, 1 earned run. They're trying to keep him away from seeing a lineup 3 times. And then you have Nate Eovaldi, who's also been very, very good. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, 5 walks, and a 2-1 win at home over the Reds. Neither Nats aren't hitting righties and Rangers aren't hitting lefties. So 246.94 for the Nats against righties. Rangers 241.681 versus lefties. Nats bullpen and Rangers bullpen both being good. Good. Oh, and Jarek White saying it's raining out here in Dallas. Oh, wow. Let me go back to... Wow, because it says 0% precipitation, but if it's raining, then that roof might be closed. Wow, important. Gifted Cartel says Parker has had a tougher season than Eovaldi versus teams that hit lefties. Let's pull up all of Mitchell Parker's information so that we're on the same page, especially when it helps us as we move forward with his starts here. Let me get this up. Here we go. So Mitchell Parker, he was a 5th round pick in the 2020 draft out of a junior college, and he has started 1 game in Rochester with 4 innings, and he looked very good. And he's looked very good here with the Nationals. I mean, he's just 24 years old. Last year in AA, he was okay, and then he got lit up in 3 starts in AAA. So it's a surprise, a little bit of a surprise that he's been as good as he's seen. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have Parker right now and the Nats at plus 167. They opened up at plus 171, a very slight move towards them. And then from a total side of things, we are dealing with a minus 110 to the under. This opened up at 8.5. It went to 8 and it came back to 8.5 and down to 8. Something I've been doing over this run that I've been on over the last little while, which is nothing compared to Jose's run, is I've been staying away from the totals that keep flipping back and forth. I just don't, there's not like a clear sentiment on the market in that point. And I've just been staying away, expecting volatility. Take it away for us here, Jose. We have 57% of tickets and 59% of cash on the under. We have 13% of tickets and 36% of cash on the Nationals. Is this a spot where we go right back to the Nationals? TJ says, and that's continued to fatten his bankroll. I'm going to be listening. I'm also going to be getting my action in on the first two games. So take it away for us here, Jose. 2:35 p.m. Eastern, Globe Life Field, Nationals Rangers.
Yeah, no, do your thing, obviously. I think Mitchell Parker, obviously Mackenzie Gore is the best pitcher on that staff, but we talked about this with Ben Brown, actually with Troy a while ago. For expectations going into the season based on and then results, Mitchell Parker has been the best Nats pitcher. It's been pretty shocking. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs against the Dodgers. Very good for your first career start there. Second start against the Astros. Dominates them. The Astros, who we know suck this year, but can still hit the ball. 7 innings shutout, 8 Ks, no walks. And then another good start against the Miami Marlins. 4 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run. Now, he's a lefty, and the Marlins can't hit lefties. I expected a little more length there, but still just very, very good. This Nationals bullpen, I think, can generally be pretty trustworthy. It's definitely like flip a coin on the day to see who you get and see what guys are good. But I generally trust them. I just don't want to go up against the Rangers offense. Again, maybe I'm thinking about last year's Rangers offense. Last 2 weeks, 87 plate appearances against lefties. So not that many, but they've got 126 weighted runs created plus. I'll go back to the 14th of last month and to today and see if it's any better here. 18th, 169 weighted runs, 169 plate appearances, 90 weighted runs created plus. So it's only semi-recently that they've started hitting lefties. So that concerns me a little bit. Maybe they carry that hot streak into today. Mitchell Parker has not struggled yet. So we'll see how that goes. But the total, like you mentioned, was interesting to me, but it just kept going back and forth, and it didn't give me a clear indication. With only 57% of the bets and 58% of the money on the under. I like the under in this game, and gun to head here, if I had to pick a side, it'd probably be the Nationals yet again here. It's very interesting that you've mentioned it here, and I might end up getting on them. Who knows? But only 13% of the bets and 36% of the money on the Nationals. And we had this line opening up at minus 190 at places like our friends at Bet Online had this at minus 190. It did get up to minus 200, but now minus 183. Very interesting. Bet Online. Bovada has this at, let me see here. It has it at minus 190 currently, but this opened up at minus 214 there as well. So I lean Nationals. I just don't think I'll add it on there. I'll keep my card nice and simple today. So no action for me here.
I'll lean Nationals too. I don't really want to fade Nate Eovaldi.
Yeah, I don't either. I think he's a very good pitcher. I think I said, I think this is a low scoring game, but I just wanted the Stones to move on the under.
By the way, better lines at 365 than Pinnacle. Because Pinnacle's moving quite quickly and 365 is a little behind. So I get to send them both in. I got the under 9. I got the under 9 at minus 110. I got the over 9.5 minus 105. So then the question is twofold. You're not, this isn't a question, maybe a statement. You're not betting the Nats because of your fear about the Rangers hitting the lefties better, because we've got season-long stats that I'm using, not last 14 days, and they're hitting lefties better. We're not betting the Nats because we're afraid of Nate Eovaldi. We're not betting the under at this point because of the Rangers hitting lefties better, because it seems sort of like the under would be available.
Yeah, gun to head, one play on this game would be the under. But the market going back and forth also does not help me here. And you know, it did open up at 8.5 at some places, minus 120. Got down to minus 115, then went up to 8.5, minus 125, and then eventually went down to the 8. And again, it's not like it's overwhelming money on the under there. So it's definitely reacting to that under money. So I think it'll be I think it'll be a low scoring game. I don't know about close, I guess.
Can you give Mikey the numbers again of the Rangers' last 14 days?
Yeah, let me see here. And it's, only 87 plate appearances. So you can tell me that's too small of a sample size. But since the 21st of last month to today, there are 126 weighted runs created plus against lefties. That's only teams that are better than that. The Tigers with 67 plate appearances. So you can throw that out if you'd like. Orioles, Dodgers, Minnesota Twins, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. So again, if you go back to the 15th of last month, it goes down to 90. But that just feels like that illustrates the point of they're hitting lefties more in the last 2 weeks now. And maybe we should take a little heed here.
Something's wrong with my computer. I couldn't copy and paste the action here from BJ. Oh, it's because that's wrong. Jesus, I've tried to copy and paste the entire comment section.
Well, that would do it right there. 14th, by the way, Mikey Money, are the Nationals full season against righties. If you're wondering. And last 2 weeks against righties, the Nationals are 22nd, 75 weighted runs created plus. So again, I get every nugget in here. It reached closer to the under. It's definitely more appealing as we go on here, and it's been nice having a sterling record for unders or totals this year. I'd probably just continue to wait a little bit, and if it continues moving towards that under, I'd probably move on it. Another situation where if I had a 7.5 here, I'd probably move on it, but it's a tough game.
All right. Well, I just copied and pasted 200 comments. Which I will handle on my own, but it messes up my worksheet, so I'd like to fix it. Okay, let's move on to the... Oh, God, this is ridiculous. What have I done? I've never done that before. That's my first time. Okay, let's move on to the next spot on the board here for us, and that is so we got...
Guardians Astros.
This is the last game on the day for us, 8:10 p.m. Eastern. The Guardians 20-10, 12-6 on the road. Imagine them being 20-10 with the injuries that they've faced. Houston Astros 10-20, 5-10 at home at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. We have Logan Allen, the lefty, 5.46 ERA, 1.40 WHIP on the season, 26 Ks over 31 and a third. His last start was ugly, but it was against the Braves, and we know what they do to lefties or to any pitcher. 4 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 5 Ks, and 2 walks. Going up against Spencer Arrighetti, who's been horrific this year. 6th-round pick in the 2021 draft out of Louisiana Lafayette. So here we go. I don't know what to make of Arrighetti. And you've talked about no longer trusting this Astros brass, which we would have done last year. He's not being good. But he was good in Sugarland for 2 starts, but it was only 8 1/3. Last year in Sugarland, he was decent. He's been a decent minor league pitcher, and he's a young guy. Should he step up here? I have no idea. His last start, 4-3 loss to the Cubs. He went 3 2/3, allowed 4 runs. He struck out 7, walked 2. He has 15 strikeouts in 10 2/3. Problem is he's walked 7. The Guardians are not an offense that scares me at all. 237, 699 OPS versus righties, while the Astros 261, 733. And the Guardians have this huge bullpen advantage. So let's take a look at the line history here for this one and the cash flow. On the total, this is our last game on the board. Unbelievable. 3-2 Rockies in the top of the second. We have a 9, minus 111 to the under. This opened up at 9.5 and has dropped to 9. So the market telling us that, well, let's see what they're telling us on the money line. But, it's pretty easy to assume that the market thinks that Arrighetti is much better than his numbers indicate. But that's probably not that he's going to have a good start. Let's say that. So here we go. Spencer Arrighetti and the Houston Astros are minus 124. They opened up at minus 129. So we've had this move towards the Guardians. And then when we get to the cash flow for the last game on the board, the lone night baseball game, We have 61% of the tickets and 64% of the cash on the under. It's gone from 9.5 to 9. We have 26% of the tickets and 37% cash on the Guardians. There's been a slight move towards them. This is a tricky one. Take it away for us here, Jose. Last game on the board, Guardians, Astros.
Yeah, so I had two bets written down going into the show. The Giants Red Sox over was one, and then the other one is obviously this one, the Cleveland Guardians full game money line here. Now we'll talk about the line and the movement here again, just to reemphasize it here. 74% of the bets and 63% of the money on the Astros. And yet this opened up at minus 139 and is now down to minus 125 at BetOnline. It's climbed up to minus 126. So whatever. Opened up at minus 134 at Bovada. Now minus 131. Dropped down to minus 123 at one point at Bovada. Maybe that was just a mistake because it was only for a few minutes there, about 20, but went right back up to the Astros. So I like the Guardians here. I think they win. Arrighetti has not been good. Maybe this is an under game, but if it is a lower scoring game, then it's playing right into the Guardians' hands here. So if you like I said, if you like the over, I think the Astros win, and if you like the under, I think the Guardians win. I'll trust the Guardians bullpen over the Astros bullpen any day of the week.
I agree with that. It's kind of conflicting. I guess what they're saying is that Logan Allen's going to have a good start. I guess that's what the market's saying. And
Logan Allen is a lefty, and the Astros are very good against lefties too. We know that as well.
Yeah, this is not appealing. But DC Capper on the Astros. Jess Boy saying that the Astros need a win after yesterday. And here we go. Let's review all action. And BJ also gets, so I finally got all that off. BJ's best bet is Orioles money line. I need to tweet out the action here because I bet it, but I haven't tweeted it out. Can you review your action and then I'll review mine? And I'm only on 2 spots. I'm on that under 9 in Yankees Orioles, and I'm on the over 9.5 in Giants Red Sox. Take it away, Jose.
Yeah, so my action here, obviously, you guys know I'm on the under 7.5 in this first game. Very annoying. It's 5-3. Hopefully, there's no more scoring for the rest of the game.
3-2. Is that 3-2?
3-2. Sorry, yes. I'm thinking 5-2 for some reason, but it's 3-2. Yes. I guess because I saw my dude's first 5 bet in there. But yes, 3-2. Hopefully, that stays under. Fingers crossed, but it's not looking great for us. But the 2 bets that I walked into the show going to bet and am going to bet over 9.5 even money. Or actually, I got minus 105 now for the Red Sox over there, over 9.5. And I'm taking Cleveland money line. I took it plus 116. And, sure, you could say that Logan Allen is not that good. But, we're talking about, sample sizes and such against lefties. The Astros in the last 2 weeks, 88 plate appearances, a 58 weighted runs created plus. So somebody diced them up now. Full season, they're 6th, 123 weighted runs created plus. But I'll hope that their struggles against lefties can continue here against Logan Allen, who 3-1, maybe a little deceiving about how good he is this year. But I'll trust him here with my money. And I went full game with it.
And so there's a couple things going on here. One, that we need to keep an eye on, that Mikey saying that these full run moves are basically head fakes, full runs to the under, which we need to watch out for because we've already seen these 4s or even 4.5s, first 5 that go down to 3.5s. I've bet them and they've lost. And he's saying that, so there are 2 things that Mikey's got to keep us aware of. Those first 5s at 3.5 all seem to be going over, and maybe these full run moves are somewhat head fakes. So let's keep an eye on that. Secondly, here, the reason why I'm not on the Guardians with you is that my thought process is that everybody sees Spencer Arrighetti 0-3, 10.97 ERA, 2.34 WHIP. Everybody is seeing that with this tiny sample size. So it's a pretty simple connect the dots that Arrighetti, the Guardians have a better pitcher on them. If that wasn't the case, if they had a pitcher on the mound that had a better record than Logan Allen, I'd be all over the Guardians with you. But I feel like that's a pretty simple calculation that Arrighetti's not very good, and that's the only reason why I'm not joining you here. On
Yeah,
this one.
and first 5 under 3.5s are 1 and 2 this year, I believe, since we've had 3.5s there. And I remember this only because it was 0 and 2, and I made a whole big point to TJ saying I was like, I might bet the over 3.5 in this first 5, blah blah blah. And then we got to the cap. I bet the under, and I told the TJ that I was gonna get fucking destroyed by Dabby and Mike about it because they've been going over, and luckily I fucking went under and it won. So. Yeah, it's 1 and 2 this year, I believe, though. So
ribeye play of the day is in from Mikey Money. Michael Conforto plus 145. What a monster Mikey Money is, and the ribeye play of the day. And shout out to Jonathan Yim. You know that happens, man. That happens. You know what? We love you so much, Uncle Jay. You're in all of our pools and all of our contests, and you are so much fun to cap with. These things happen, man. And if the Leafs win Game 6 and Game 7, you're rolling. Nobody has more Leafs than Johnny Yim. So hopefully the Leafs win tonight and you can have more hope because you can turn it all around. Look, if the Leafs go on this giant run, I'm going to call in to bet more than 500 on whoever is playing the Panthers in the next round between these two weak hockey teams. But that is another story. Okay, let's roll on here and move on to NBA. We had Billy Brisbane delivering for us on this show. We had Jose Bouquett delivering for us on this show. And we've had Troy Torrence continue his excellent work in NFL and bring it right over to NBA. Troy Torrence right now, 17 and 11, hitting at 60.7%, plus 5.33 units, ROI plus 19.04%. No, TJ, I'm going to bet heavily on the Panthers. I'm going to bet heavily on the Panthers. For me right now, and I know we're going to NBA, but there's been nothing more impressive than what Florida and Colorado have done, and now about to be Dallas if they can finish the job. So who read the Bruins or Leafs move on, I'm calling in. I'm max bet. Well, I don't really have a max bet. As you guys know, I have to call in if I bet more than 500. But I'll put at least a K on it, which isn't that big of a bet for a lot of you guys, but for me, it's bigger. Okay, let's get into NBA and bring on the aforementioned, coming to us from Chicago, All-American wide receiver, delivering with his market efficiency database. Please welcome Mr. Troy Torrence to the show. Troy, how are you, my guy?
I'm trying to change gears. Mike M's got my mind in a different place. He's been talking about it on Last Call every day. The line move that goes, every time I listen in, at least, when a total in baseball moves more than one run. And I just started digging into it. I know I talked about it last year, but I kind of forgot it. I got to do something better to kind of document some of this stuff. I got to do a better job. But when the total moves more than one run, one or more runs to the under, it's actually 55%. Right. So the market's actually pretty efficient. It hits at 55%. However, if the total closes below 8, it's only 36%. If the home team is a favorite, only 32%. So I bet a team total under in a spot today that had basically a 32% odds, in my opinion, basically how I calculate EV. It's pretty much 80% of the weight. I made a bad bet today, taking the Rockies team total under.
This is the whole point of the show. Is exactly what you're talking about here, and Mikey's talking about why we're all here. This is the whole point of the show.
I know, and one of the first points I wanted to talk about was just how things have changed for me recently. I had a massive stretch of quantifiable bad variance. It's 3 months of just spots that just weren't going my way. Now that's flipped and changed a lot. And one thing that I have done is I started capping tomorrow, Jim. I didn't get caught up in the moment, caught up in the day. Something I learned from you, right? And something we talked about personally off air, not live, right? And it's definitely made a difference. I also signed a contract with my wife that I would not bet on FanDuel anymore because that account is just deep in the red. And I just can't help myself on that. But tilt when I have FanDuel. I don't know why. But, hey, things have been turning around. Killing playoffs. And honestly, dude, I look at my numbers and I kind of struggle to post them every day because if I was looking at somebody else post the results that I've had over the past year, going back to last year MLB season, when basically the birth of the market efficiency database, I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe someone else. So it's kind of, I just feel blessed, man. I'm on an incredible run. I know you're on an incredible run too, Jim. You've turned it around massively the past few months. So it's imperative we keep this going. And I'm ready to get to work.
Yeah, we are a work in progress. And what we're trying to do is prove that you can honestly, legitimately beat the books. And
that's the thing is like, I post my plays, and at the end of the season, I'll post every play I made in that season when I summarize the end of the season, but like no one's going to go through and kind of document and track and match each play for what I posted, but it's all accounted for. It's all right there.
Yeah. A very difficult thing is being accountable and honest. It's not difficult for me with you guys. You fight the battle with me every day. You understand the battle. It's just the strangers that I don't know online, that's it's just, but for you guys, I don't have any concern about, being completely open and honest. It's just the negativity and the hate that comes, and it's cyclical and all that stuff. But what you are doing, there's so many of you guys doing that have fulfilled the vision that Peter and I had, and it's inspiring and makes me care more and work harder and want to succeed more. And I was serious when I said that. I really think that the most important thing in our life is being a successful gambler. And you guys know family's more important. No, this is more important. And look, if you are succeeding at the most important thing in your life, everything else comes together. And maybe that's and that was something that hit me this morning. And because I've always said it's family first. But look, if I fall apart in my action, my life falls apart, my family falls apart.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could talk all about that.
And that's kind of the path I want to go down. And it's just crazy. The psychology is the toughest part. I try to preach it because you got to be able to handle your mental, or you will go broke. You could be the best capper in the fucking world, have the best edge in the world, and you could still go broke if you don't keep your mentality strong.
Yeah. And it's tough sometimes. And so often I have to use you guys so that I'm not just, wallowing, I guess is the right word. And this conversation started because Troy said you got to move on to tomorrow when things are going bad that day, and it's hard to do, but you have to turn the page. Don't worry, turn it off, and then just move on to tomorrow's action. Put all your focus always into tomorrow's action. Remember, the pros and the best cappers that they've done all the work the night before for the games the next day. The pros in NFL have capped the next week's card before the Sunday games go on. So. And now I know things changed with injuries and momentum and all that stuff, but
that's what I was about to say. The market changes, and that's the hard. That for me, it's like I kind of have to wait for the biggest piece. The biggest weight in my model is how the market is moving and basically the cash flow and how the bookies are reacting. So, yeah, it's a little bit different for me, but I definitely feel you. It definitely setting up the night before. You lay the foundation. Lay the foundation for success, man.
Let's get to work. And I'm excited and inspired to work with you, Troy. And what a season you've had in the short sample size thus far. By the way, your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again. Play today came in, and I missed it, but it's here. San Francisco Giants in the over 9.5. These plays of the day from Mikey Money are just, and he's coming off a huge night. What's happening right now is we're brimming with confidence. So let's stay focused and let's do the work. We start this evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. East first round game 6. Indiana leading the series 3-2. Milwaukee Bucks weren't a good road team this year. They weren't a very good basketball team this year. Pacers were really good at home for stretches that usually were all based upon Halliburton's health. This series is played 92.87 possessions a game. Milwaukee shot 48.3% from the field and 37% from three. Those are pretty astounding numbers for a team that's down in a series. The Pacers are shooting worse, 46.7% from the field and 34.8% from three. Now, I capped this game because Doc Rivers said both players, of course, being Dame and Giannis Antetokounmpo, are very, very, very close to returning to game action. That said everything to me. That was yesterday. I didn't care that they were listed as doubtful. I have them in my head as playing in this game, and I want to fade them. But here is the problem. I went out and said after game one, Haliburton played 38 minutes. He's healthy. He's not, is what's coming through the word on the street is that he is not healthy. Another thing is that I kind of got over my hatred for player props with this Garcia operation. And the angle that we cashed on with one of my few player props this season. And it's anytime a player gets ejected from a basketball game early, not late. That's key. It's so key to this angle. Anytime a basketball player gets ejected in the first half of a basketball game, preferably the first quarter of a basketball game, they deliver. Like, I don't want to, 10 out of 10. I don't want to talk about percent anything like that. But I don't remember the last time a player didn't go over their point prop the next game. I don't remember. I couldn't tell you because it's happened every time. And it happened so often that I had to start betting it this year. And look what Bobby Portis did. 29 points and 10 boards. When his player prop came out and I was setting up my action for the Operation Garcia, I thought I'd made a mistake because of how high his prop was. Because everybody knows what happens.
I love that. And see, that's the thing. Like, I bet you if you took Operation Garcia and you kind of refined it and looked within that, bench players for starters versus, off of a good night, off a bad night. There's so many ways I bet you could turn that into like a ridiculous ROI, just ridiculous.
I'm nervous about doing that. And that would you'd almost need to be capping basketball full time and only basketball to really
and only props.
Yeah.
And that's not, that doesn't seem that appealing.
Mikey Money, Pacers are 13-0 against the spread off a loss or win up to 9 points if they were favorites or small dogs. Mikey Money says Bucks are 0-22 against the spread as a dog or small favorite off a win or single-digit loss as a dog. So here we go. We should expect Dame and Giannis in, but this line's not saying they're in yet. This was at 6 and it's back at 6.5. I expect them to be in. And I'm right with BJ. We fade the Bucks. But I also want Haliburton to be in. I mean, there's these injury issues that are tricky. Now, let's say that Dame and Giannis are in and Haliburton is out. I still think I bet it, but I would want to see what
would be the line if that were the case.
I would say if Haliburton's out and Dame and Giannis are in, I mean, we're talking like a huge swing here, but I'd say Milwaukee's -2.5.
Yep.
I mean, that's a monster. Maybe I'm way off, but that's my first.
I agree. I think that if they're all in, all these players play, I think the spread's going to be Indiana slight favorite,
-1.5.
Yeah. And then I think you're right. I think +1.5, +2.5 probably gets up to +2.5 if that's the case. Yeah.
Saturate says McConnell runs the offense just fine.
He does. And
I'm a huge McConnell fan, but remember, all he said was runs the offense because there's another half of the game, and that's defensively. And I just don't like having him out there. He's so smart. Look, he's so smart. So Joe Yurkovich says, is that Joe if everybody's in and Haliburton's out 4.5? Okay, so Billy Frazier says, so we're waiting to bet this one is the best look. No, yes. So let's go over everything again. And then we'll hear from our guy, Troy Torrence, with his plan. So that's where we're at right now. This line's at 6.5. That tells us that Haliburton's in and one of those two guys are out. Right?
Who do you think? Which one do you think is out?
I think Dame's out and Giannis is in.
Yes, sir.
So that's what I think it's telling us right now at this line. This total is sitting at 216.5. Again, we need more information here, but it did drop like all of these totals. It dropped down to 213, 212.5, and it's climbed all the way back up to 216.5. So here we go. Bobby Portis went for 29 and 10. Chris Middleton went for 29, 12 and 5. I mean, these guys have so much heart. Bobby Portis is a junkyard dog, and Chris Middleton can do everything that's needed on a basketball court. And here we have Miles Turner, Halliburton, all these guys not step up when they had to. Halliburton, 16, Turner, 13, their lowest point total of 2023-24. The perfect storm here could be happening. But the problem is Halliburton. So I almost think that the perfect storm is Halliburton out, Giannis and Dame in. That would be the perfect situation because we don't know for sure what Halliburton's going through, and that makes it tricky. But I tell you what, all I want is the Pacers here with the Bucks stars back in. Ray D'Amico says the Pacers full strength. He's on Pacers team total over. Can't trust laying points with the Pacers. Saturday said Pacers are 4-1 versus the Bucks when Giannis plays. Joseph Gomez took the Bucks money line, hoping the number drops in live hedge with the Pacers money line by the first half. So Chase says no. Hallie McConnell patiently controlling the offense. Damon Giannis coming back and adjusting. This smells like an under, but we will see when it's closer to the game. Take it away, Troy. This one is convoluted. Bucks Pacers.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sitting here like stoically and kind of just looking like I'm got the 1,000-mile stare because I'm just trying to think critically about this. Trying to think about what this all this means, all the moving pieces, because you got to think about what they're trying to do right now. I mean, this is how I'm looking at it. As soon as I heard that news, I started to think about immediately the fact that Giannis and Dame got upgraded to game time decisions so early in the day. I think that's a little bit of an indicator too, because usually we don't get news like that. At least the recent trend, even back towards the end of the season, has been very late in terms of injury report updates. I think that's a massive surprise to me. You got to critically think about shit like this because the mob shit is out there. And I like to consider myself an expert in mob shit. That's kind of what the database is predicated on, to be honest, in some way, shape, or form. That's the truth. I've had a great read on this series. I feel like I've definitely been on top of this series. And I'm almost positive whoever wins this series, I'll be fading in game 1 of round 2. There's probably no doubt about that. Also, about the market, how that's yesterday when I was looking into these games, I seen that 80% of the bets and the cash were on the Bucks. And they were, the spread was basically -8, which showed strength towards the Bucks in some way, shape, or form. But and I knew something didn't smell right to have all this action, all this sentiment, all the cash on the Bucks in this spot. And sure enough, like the market's completely changing and updating as we speak. Now you're seeing 50% of the cash on the Indiana spread. So the sharps are waiting for this announcement. It's like they knew it was coming. I kind of knew it was coming after I was researching. I really wanted to take the Bucks yesterday, thinking that, hey, maybe these guys don't play. When I seen a -8 line and comparing that to what happened, basically the line functionality, I thought that maybe they were out. I mean, think about the line functionality in this game. Game 3, the line closed 6.5. They won, but didn't cover. I'm talking about the Pacers at home. They closed game 3 -6.5. They won, but they didn't cover. Game 4, they closed at -10. They won and covered. Now I know, Dame got announced out officially. Regardless, the line functionality has been pretty sharp there. And now they're opening short of 10. I think that I really wanted to take the Bucks yesterday is what I'm trying to say. I was thinking about taking the Bucks in the first half, but when I seen the cash flow, that held me off because I knew something didn't smell right. Then obviously I started researching into the injury report and injury news and had the same sentiment as Jimmy. I think Giannis is going to be playing. Damian Lillard is going to be out. I think Halliburton's going to play. I think this line's going to close probably where some guys are calling out like a -4. I think Joe Jurkovic said 4.5. I think that's probably where this line closes in favor of the Pacers. Maybe I guess it can get down to 3. Okay, laying 1 possession at home against this Bucks team with the Giannis. Maybe I don't know how healthy he is. To me, it's just so hard to back the Pacers. I think the Bucks are starting to figure this Pacers team out. I didn't rewatch the last game like I probably should have, but I did watch every possession of that game live. And I was on them in game 1. They jumped on this Indiana Pacer team and they just blew them out. I mean, and then they lost game 2. And really, people say that the series don't start till the road team wins a game. Game 3, this game, the game went in Indiana. Sorry, man. in Indiana. I'm sorry, because my notes, this all goes out the window. I'm kind of like skipping through some of the notes that I have on this game because things have changed. So, basically, when they went to Indy, I don't think these games in Indiana with Giannis and Damian Lillard out were very impressive. I mean, I think that the Bucks held their own, and they show that they are very competitive in this series, even without their stars in the lineup. They clearly made adjustments on Siakam, especially in semi-transition. You saw Siakam catching the ball. I call it semi-transition because it's not a fast break. He catches the ball and he goes to work right away and put up buckets. They completely shut that down, started denying him as soon as the shot went up, it seems like. And I think that Damian Lillard, honestly, is a net negative for this Bucks team. I kind of liked the fact that he was out, and that made me want the Bucks even more. There's a reason why Damian Lillard struggles to advance past the first round of the playoffs. He doesn't play good on ball defense. He doesn't hide either. Like some of these smaller guards, like Trae Young, not Trae Young. I'm going to skip Trae Young. I don't know about Trae Young. Like Steph Curry, he's a good comp, right, to Damian Lillard. He's great at hiding on defense because he knows he just doesn't have the physical characteristics of a good defender. He can't rebound. He definitely doesn't make hustle plays. And offensively, I think he limits the offense. Less players involved. And, I think it kind of reduces what you can do offensively. And this Pacers team, in my opinion, they're not ready to make the next step into the playoffs. I cannot back the Pacers in this game. I would only be leaning the Bucks. I just don't think the Pacers are ready to advance in the playoffs. I don't trust them. I don't like their DNA as a team. And I don't know if they're capable of even being competitive in the next series at all. So to me, it's a Bucks or pass. Now I do have some STQL trends that are out the window. Everything else is out the window. So because this line, who knows where it's going to end. So turn it back to you, Jimmy. Sorry for a long-winded way to say I have no idea what I'm going to do with this game.
No, it's a fascinating breakdown. From a very simple standpoint, I want to fade the team with the superstar returning. And maybe that is just too simple, and I need to sit with this for longer. But that's what I want to do. I want to fade the Bucks when Giannis isn't outstanding. I'll wait. But a lot of respect for your. Now, Lee Davis says, I want the Bucks if Dame and Giannis are out. Now we're talking.
Now we're talking. And that's what I was hoping for, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah. So, okay. So we've got a lot to figure out here with Bucks Pacers, and we'll keep our ear to the streets and find out what the hell's going on. Let's move on to the late game. Good God, are we lucky? 9 p.m. tonight, it goes down. New York Knicks, Philadelphia 76ers. It takes me back to when basketball was its best in the late 80s. Knicks, Sixers, the Sixers 25-16 at home. I mean, it's not a fair number. We want to know what they are with Embiid at home. They're playing 91.1 possessions a game. Mikey Money was so confident on the first half under. I wish I only bet the first half under. I mean, look, I was sitting there thinking about how much money I was going to make. And then the whole night went against me. They're down 6 with 28 seconds left. When Hart went to the free throw line, I just need him to hit both. And it feels like college basketball, with some of these guys at the free throw line where you just can't trust that they're going to get the job done. Wine Time Sports is on the Knicks +3 at -110 in this one. So Maxey saved them. But, Thibodeau throwing the team under the bus for not fouling, he's saying that he wanted them to foul. And I believe him. But I still think it's a pussy-ass move for him to throw the team under the bus. I was a little surprised that Thibs did that. But so, 15.3 seconds away, Hart comes up, goes 1 for 2, and they don't foul, and Maxey stabs them in the throat. He's just playing so phenomenally well. Embiid 19, 16, and 10. He's trying so hard out there. I love watching him. I love watching him go after loose balls. I love watching Embiid in this series. Tobias Harris. There was a Tobias Harris sighting which I was shocked. 19 points. Oubre went for 14. Brunson went for 40. It sucked watching that errant pass in overtime at the end of overtime from Jalen Brunson. I cheer for him. Hart at 18. Anunoby had 17. And Mitchell Robinson looked pretty good. We know Bogdanovich is now done for the series. So let's move on to this spot here. From a line history standpoint, we're sitting here with this total at 201.5. It opened up at 200. It's now 201.5. There is nothing that makes me want to bet the over in this series. Nothing. And I almost believe that if it doesn't go to overtime, it's not going to hit the over. Now, you do have a situation where there could be a ton of fouling in the last minute. But there's nothing. Watching the series, I just want to bet the under again. We are sitting here with the Knicks +3 at -109. They opened up at 3 at -105. They got to 3.5. They're back at 3. We have a 4-cent move to the New York Knicks. When we get to the cash flow for this one, we have 30% of the tickets and 63% of the cash on the Philadelphia 76ers. For me, I'm surprised that the line came out at 3. I feel like the books put out a line to make you want or have interest or want to bet the Sixers. I was surprised that it's at 3. I thought this would be a 4.5. The total 17% of tickets and 97% of the cash is on the over. Everybody's betting the over. Kong saying if you don't want to worry about overtime or fouls, just bet the first half under and be done with it. Look, I get it. I understand the process, Kong. I just want to make as much money as I can. And it was a mistake, obviously. But I just want to make as much money as I can without adding too much to my unit size. That's my thought process. Take it away for us here, Troy. The absolute beauty at Wells Fargo Center tonight. I can't wait to watch it. Knicks Sixers.
You've given me some more confidence into the side I like. And this is another series I've had a great read on. I've had a great playoff run. So I've had a great read on the entire playoffs in general. But I did take my first loss with this Knicks in this last game. I had -3.5, got in early, was proud of my number. I did cash first half, but I did lose the full game. And Maxey, I mean, what an absolute stud this guy is and a bright future he has. He saved the day for the 76ers, and they were able to win the battle, but I don't expect them to win this war. This Knicks team is just too physical, too aggressive. Like I said before, last time I was on, last Thursday, they're just going to out-thug them for extra possessions, and that's something that you could guarantee. You could guarantee that that's going to happen tonight, whereas you can't guarantee that you're going to be able to shoot well from the field. You can't guarantee really anything in basketball, but you can guarantee hustle is going to arrive, in Philly tonight from the New York Knicks. We've seen it all series. We'll continue to see that. And people, I don't want to say people because you could try and make arguments that the 76ers should be winning this series or, the series should be closer than it was at 3-1. I think you can make that argument, but I'll definitely strike that down. People talk about the 50-50 games late in the fourth quarter, and I don't see it that way. It's not 50-50, and we're talking Knicks versus 76ers. It's more like 60-40, 75-25 because of these extra possessions that the Knicks are just out dogging the 76ers for. If the Knicks shoot 50% from the free throw line with under 2 minutes, the series is already over, and we wouldn't even be talking about this game. But I'm glad we do. I'm glad we have this opportunity. I am concerned about Bogdanovich. He's a critical piece of the offense when Brunson's off the floor. He's even a focal point, I would venture to say, when Brunson's off the floor. He's definitely a big piece. And he's actually the only player on the floor this entire series on both sides, 76ers or Knicks, that has a plus. In every game, he's been plus in the net rating. So his plus minus, he's always on the plus. He's always winning they're winning when he's on the floor. The only player that could say that through every game this series. And now we don't have him. And I think Brunson, he's the second best offensive player in the league. It's just unfortunate that maybe the best offensive player of all time is playing for the Denver Nuggets. His name's Nikola Jokic. And I think that he's figured out this defense. He's adjusted to the length of Oubre. Even Tyrese Maxey, Lil Maxey, was giving him some problems, but he's definitely made some adjustments to be way more effective. Or he just settled in. It's tough to say because it doesn't look like he changed his game very much. But they definitely made some big changes playing defense against the 76ers, and I think that's shown. Joel Embiid almost had a quadruple-double in Game 5. He almost had a quadruple-double. Points, rebounds, assists, and turnovers. Finished with 9 turnovers. The Knicks are just blitzing him. As soon as he gets the ball, they're just sending two. They're blitzing him immediately. They're not wasting any time. And he's not healthy enough to react accordingly. It's as clear as day to me. And that's why he had double-digit assists last game. But he cannot react in a way that benefits his team like it should because he's not healthy. And, I mean, can we find this motherfucker or something? He's such a dirty-ass player. And I like Joel Embiid. Until this series, like, man, I kind of hate this guy now. He's just so ticky-tack. I mean, he's putting people's health on the line. I know his health is not very good, and he's very frustrated with how he's playing because he's not healthy. So he's taking it out by playing cheap as fuck, and I just hate to see it. And he can't handle the physicality with this current state of his body. And then defensively, what do? You just collapse on Maxey nonstop, force anyone else to beat you. And if Maxey's going to bury threes from 5 feet behind the three-point line, so be it. I want to talk about line functionality in this game. I want to go back to the 76ers last year. I just want to talk about line functionality in general because I think that's the strongest point you made, Jim. And it made me want to double down on my positions with the Knicks. So the Nets, that was their 76ers first round series. Game 1, they won and covered. Game 2, line opens bigger. They win and cover. Versus the Celtics, Game 3, at home. This is all home games for the 76ers. They close at +2.5. They lose by 12. Game 4, they close -1. They win and cover. Game 6, they close +2.5. So now it goes back to 2.5. They lose by 9. They don't cover. The Knicks, this series we're talking about right now, Game 3, they close at -5.5 after a 3-point move towards them. They win and cover by 11. Game 4, they close at -5 after a small move back towards New York, and they lose by 5. Right now, the market is 83% accurate in 76ers home playoff games dating back 2 seasons. The market's 80% accurate in Knicks road playoff games moving back to 2 seasons, even back to last year. That's extremely strong. And once I took that into account, I went and bet the Knicks immediately. I do have some extra points for you. Since 2014, home favorites. This is from SDQL. Home favorites in series game 6, 4-9 straight up, 3-10 ATS, and 0-5 ATS if it's in the first round. From my database, when market moves towards a road team in games 5 through 7 of the NBA playoffs, road team is 8-1 ATS, undefeated. The spread is less than 2 possessions, and 6-3 on the money line. Knicks, 8-3 ATS on the road in the playoffs, market, or not in the playoffs. This is just overall in the season. 8-3 ATS on the road, market moving towards them. I took the Knicks. I got them first half full game. I posted this. I tweeted out last night when I made the bets. I got +3 at -105. I got first half money line at +120. I'll be considering a live bet. And I was also considering Knicks second quarter money liner. I don't know what that line looks like right now. It wasn't open yesterday, but it reminds me of the Lakers first half, or they covered all 5 first halves of that series, or the Bucks third quarter that we bet the other night, which was off this trend right here. It was the exact sequencing of the series, right? The exact sequencing of wins, losses, and the spread in that series. It basically said that the Bucks were going to win the quarter by 8 points. Sure enough, they absolutely blow the hinges off. I live bet Bucks +3 in the third quarter at halftime, exactly like we planned, and it hit. I did lose first quarter in that game, but that kind of made up for it. Anyways, Knicks +3, Knicks money line. I love it.
Knicks +3 and Knicks money
Knicks
line.
first half money line +120.
So do you also have the money line full game or just okay?
I do not. Just first half.
Knicks first half money line and the +3.
And I know I probably preach into the choir. Everyone probably knows this. When Embiid comes out after playing the entire first quarter, there's a huge letdown. I mean, the plus minus in that second quarter, in the first 5-6 minutes of that second quarter is ridiculous. It's double digits in a matter of minutes. So, and that's every game. It's every game. And so I think like a second quarter type of bet, I'll definitely be looking into that market as this day, as we get closer to tip.
BJ saying tough game. Honestly, I'll tell you this, and Sancho with the Sixers. I'll tell you this, and I don't mind going out like this. The books aren't looking for 50-50 action. The books put out a line where everybody would want the Sixers, expecting a 7-game series, the Sixers at home. That's what they did. Not only that, but when the Sixers money started coming in, they brought it back to 3 after going to 3.5 for a second. If you guys want to focus solely on the way a series usually goes, the home team usually wins game 6 at home and goes into game 7. The books are hoping that everybody feels that way. The books are trying to beat us. And I have a ton of confidence on the Knicks +3. And a ton of confidence. Because I'm shocked that this is under a possession, or a possession that the Sixers are favored at home. I'm shocked at that. That's shocking to me. It should be more than one possession. How could it not be more than one possession? I mean, it just doesn't make it with the Sixers at home after that comeback victory in game 5 to keep the series alive. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Here's why. In my opinion, here's why. There's that the matchup that I was talking about with Embiid offensively, when they're blitzing him, there's no adjustment that they could make. They made the adjustments. It's Embiid passing quickly out of the trap, out of the double team. It's not really a trap. I want to say it's more of just a double. They're just blitzing him. And there's no response because he's just not healthy enough. He can't put the ball on the floor and split it like he would early in the season when he was completely healthy. He's not healthy. Now this line reflects that exactly.
All right. Troy, Knicks first half money line, Knicks +3. You know, we have a lot of cappers on either side of the fence. That's what this is all about. That's why this is all about. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Mikey Money says public all over the road dog too validates that. At this point, with 34,000 tickets in, 69% of the tickets are on the New York Knicks. I expect that to change. The bigger bets have come in on the Sixers. One thing that you hear the pros talk about is not to care about where the money is in the playoffs. NBA, I don't know. Maybe not care, but not care as much, I should say. Unless it's like extreme. So we'll see how it bangs out. My dude says the weed says Sixers. And J-Dub says Sixers easy win. Yeah. It should be an easy win for them. Game 6 at home.
I really thought I'd be betting the 76ers in this game.
I was completely set. My whole plan was to bet the Sixers, and I'm very comfortable flipping at this point. The 3 doesn't make any sense, and I'm happy talking it out. Okay. Ray D'Amico says 76ers beat where I said if it wasn't the playoffs, Embiid would not be playing. Yeah, clearly. Absolutely clearly here.
Dan Bonner talking about that mob shit in the chat. I like it. But then again, you're getting a 3. If that was the case, they'd want the money on the Knicks. And the biggest thing to me in this game, after everything's said and done, is the line functionality, brother. It's the line functionality. And it's how accurate the opens and closes have been in these games and how telling they've been. They've been almost perfect. But both these teams past 2 seasons of the playoffs, perfect. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's with now I know that Embiid's banged up, but with Embiid in the lineup, the Sixers would have finished the year 6 games ahead of the Knicks.
Oh yeah,
and now they're 3-point favorites in a must-win game. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. Everybody looking at this first instinct would be, oh my God, Sixers are only 3-point. And my plan is to take Sixers. That we're all set. I'm only going to move on to full game +3, a game-winning bucket by Embiid to take this to 7 games, where all of the Knicks backers get paid and it goes to 7 is also a possibility here. So we'll see. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Great breakdown, Troy. Troy on the Knicks first half money line and the Knicks +3. I'm going to be on the Knicks +3. We move on to Friday, May 3rd action. We're going to be double dipping on May 3rd action tomorrow on Friday, May 3rd. You can also cap this with Bobano and I, but I love the opportunity to get Troy's looks. And we have a special bonus. Troy is going to give us his plan for the Minnesota Timberwolves Denver Nuggets, which starts Saturday, May 4th. So let's get into this. Sancho getting us started with the Cavs money line. Cavaliers lead the series 3-2. Cavaliers 48-34, 22-19 on the road at Orlando Magic, 47-35, 29-12 at home at the Kia Center in Orlando, Florida. Both teams shooting the ball very poorly in this series. The surprise to me is the pace. This is the second fastest pace of any series in the NBA playoffs, 94.4 possessions a game, and it's sped up as the series has gone on. That surprised me. They're both shooting the ball poorly. Cleveland 28.7 from 3, and Orlando 30.7 from 3. The 104-103 victory in Game 5 screwed me so badly with Jared Allen being announced out with the bruised rib. I did not think that was in the cards. I did not think that was possible. And Operation Garcia player props, you take Jared Allen's 17.5 points as a void, and everybody else, all of the low points, they're all going to score more. Someone's got to score the points that he leaves on the table. And so I got hurt very badly. But I'm going to bet it again here. All the player props on the under. Donovan Mitchell went for 28. He's hurting. Mobley has stepped up in a huge way, which we expect. He's a heart and soul guy. Now, what is our expectation of Jared Allen? I expect him to play. He practiced Monday. He was added to the injury report and then ruled out. And it all took me by surprise. 17 points, 13.8 boards. So Okoro stepped up in a big way. Max Strus, 16 points, stepped up in a big way. Mobley, of course, 14 and 13. And then Marcus Morris Sr. We remember what he's done in the playoffs. He's a tough dude, and he stepped up. On the other side, Paolo Banchero does not look like a 21-year-old. He looks like a grown man who could will his team to a series victory, but nobody else is stepping up for them. He went for 39, 14 of 24 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, but he put 16 in the fourth quarter when it meant everything. He's a very, very, very good basketball player and a tough, tough basketball player. It's going to be a lot of fun watching him over the next few years. Let's pull up the line history right now. Again, this is 29 hours before tip-off. We have Orlando minus 3.5 at minus 112. They opened up minus 106, so 6 cents of movement. On the total, we are sitting here with a 200.5 juice to the under. I kind of, you guys know how bullish I was on the Game 3 over. I kind of feel that way. I don't think I move on it because there's so much on the line, but their pace is speeding up, and it's really surprised me. And I expected it in Game 3 because I thought the Magic would shoot much better, but it continues to speed up. Let's take a look and see if we get any cash information. I'm not sure if we will, and we do have it. 1,700 tickets in. We have 96% of the tickets and 62% of the cash on the Orlando Magic. You have 34% of tickets and 90% of the cash on the over. Take it away for us here, Troy. Game 1 on Friday, Cavaliers Magic.
Talking about the pace of the game made me think about something I didn't cover because I skipped half of my analysis on the Bucks and the Bucks series. Is that's what the Bucks are doing to the Pacers? They're taking them out of their comfort zone where Pacers like to play in transition. Well, each game this series, their number of possessions is slightly decreasing, and it's way down from where it was in the regular season. That's a good coaching move. On the other hand, here we got the Cavs, who I think have a absolute terrible coach. I mean, if I was the owner, if I was his boss, I would. Does anybody ever fire a coach midway through the playoff run? I don't know, but I mean, you got to do something. Get the ball out of Banchero's hands. Get it out. One-on-one coverage is not working, and nobody else is stepping up on this team. Get it out of Banchero's hands at any means necessary. Live with the result, but they're not doing that. And I can't. They got to fire this guy. I'm struggling watching this team with all this potential fall short year after year. And I'm trying to find some, I struggle to find footing in this game because of a bunch of different factors. You want to back the Cavs because of the experience, the shot-making ability, equally as good as the Magic are at defending the paint. From a matchup perspective, there's no doubt in my mind Cavs have a clear advantage. But then you start looking at the things that I put way more weight in. Line functionality. I'm not as sharp as the books. Nobody's as sharp as the books. Don't try to compete with the books You learn from them. You bet with them. Magic were laying 2.5 and -3 at home in the first 2 games. Now they're laying -4. Now we'll see what happens when Jared Allen, if he's announced in, like I think he will be. We'll see where this number ends up. And if it ends up, it depends on where it ends up. It definitely changes where I would like this. I would rather take the Cavs at +2, +1 on the money line than I would at +4. I'm going to be honest with you. That's just how I do things. I've been very successful betting this way. And if I bet the Magic, or if I bet the Cavs in this spot right now, where the line currently sits, I'd be going against the most heavily weighted variable that I have predicated my entire capping on, and that's line functionality. So that's something that took me off that Cavs right away. And then we also have issues with personnel because, like you said, Jared Allen, extremely important on the glass, defending the paint, and in the dunker role. Being in the gray area, I mean, he's just so dangerous as a lob threat. It's incredible. So it's definitely imperative to have him back. And to be honest, that's what I hope to see. I hope to see him announced in. I hope to see this line drop way down underneath the possession. That'd make me feel way more comfortable about backing the Cavs. I mean, we know we're going to see an all-in effort from this Magic team. They've proven that year after year. These past 2 seasons, I've been talking and preaching, even back to last year, talking about the Mavs or the Magic defensive intensity, which I think is very prominent and is up there with the best of them. But they have so many problems, and the inexperience is just too much for me to overcome. When you see Franz Wagner controlling the possessions late, when Banchero was absolutely snapping off, like last game, there was a few possessions late in the game where Franz Wagner took it into his own hands. That's an inexperienced team. That's a team that's still figuring out their identity. Whereas you got teams like the Timberwolves late in the game, they know their identity now. They've been through it. They've been through it last year, right? Now they know Anthony Edwards has the ball in his hands late in the games. Well, I think the Magic are still a little bit away from getting to that point. And I don't like the idea of backing them as a favorite, even though at home we've seen what they're able to do. Since 2010, home favorites of less than 2 possessions with this exact sequence of wins and losses are only 1-7 ATS. So that means after the home team has just dominated this series all the way up until game 6 right now, well, this is where you've seen lapses in home team being able to execute, only going 1-7 ATS since 2010. It's not very frequent we see this. And it's actually what stuck out to me was that the first half margin was like 8 points. It was much wider than the full game margin. And that actually, if I had to bet anything right now, I'd bet Cavs first half. I think Jared Allen's going to get announced in. This line's going to move back down. And if that's the case, when market moves towards a road team, I talked about it last game. Market moved towards a road team in games 5 through 7 of the NBA playoffs. Road team is 8-1 ATS and undefeated if the spread is less than 2 possessions. So I'm going to wait, sit tight on this one. I hope we see what I've been talking about, and I can move on the Cavs with some confidence.
You know, I love it. I love it. And this is exactly why I wanted to double dip with these playoff games on Fridays and Saturdays. Exactly why. I know exactly what we're looking for. And I do fear fading Orlando at home against a Cavaliers team that has not delivered on the road. But I also think that they just don't have enough guys that step up for them when you need to. We know what Banchero does. And I expect Franz Wagner to as well, but I can't tell you anybody else is. Not Cole Anthony and Timberlands, I'll tell you that much.
So what's your plan with this game then?
I want to see exactly what happens with this market. But I think what you talked about with the road teams in games 5, 6, and 7 have to be thought about. We know that the public gets handed nonstop L's in NBA, and just like the shocking -3 for the Sixers, I think everybody is going to expect Orlando to deliver at home, especially after that important road performance. I expect we're going to see an enormous amount of cash on Orlando, and I think that the market will tell us whether or not the public's going to take another bath. So I'm very comfortable here. Noli Nose says Jimmy looks like an overbetter. Well, I'm not wearing San Francisco Giants hat, Noli. Come on, man. Come on. 13-3, Noli, last 2 days in MLB, my man. Okay, That is Cleveland Cavaliers, Orlando Magic. Let's move on to the 9:30 p.m. Eastern game. LA Clippers at the Dallas Mavericks. And we have the Mavericks off of a dominant Game 5 victory in LA. Let's go. American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. This series being playing at 92.4 possessions a game. Clippers shooting 43.8 from the field and 39.6 from three. It's amazing how bad they've looked. If you can get them off of the 3-point line, if you can defend the perimeter. But nobody was scoring at all for the Clippers in Game 5, whether it was from 2 or 3. Dallas 46.1 from the field, 33.5% from 3 in this series. Let's take a look at the line history here. This total sitting at 207.5 minus 108. That's a 2-cent move to the under. When we get to the spread here, we have it sitting with Dallas minus 7.5 and minus 102. It opened at 7.5 at even money, so we've had 2 cents of movement there. A quick, update on. There's 772 tickets, so we're going to hit it again tomorrow. But we have 95% of tickets, 96% of cash on the over, 65% of tickets, and 67% of cash on the Mavericks. I feel bad for Clipper fans. It's so easy to get excited about your basketball team at certain times during the season, but then the difficulty of playing in the playoffs and being able to play every second day, and you're too old and can't handle it. And you could have had Shea on your team. We had Shea for a cup of coffee. Luka went for 35, 20 in the second half, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. We know he wouldn't be playing if it was a regular season, but he's stepping up because it means so much to his team and his legacy. Maxi Kleber coming out of nowhere with 5 threes. My dude expecting that here. They didn't give you Kleber 3-point props last game. He hits 5 of them. Kyrie went for 14, but man, he looked in control of his play. He wasn't playing. My problem with Kyrie at times, he can play out of control and make mistakes. He just seemed very locked into the basketball game. And if Dallas wins, this is just their 3rd playoff series win since 2011. The city wants it. The city needs it. Zubac playing very well. Nobody else did. Paul George went for 15. George 4 of 13 from the field. 2 of 6 from 3. Harden must drive people crazy if you're a fan of the team he plays for. 2 of 12. 1 of 7 from 3. Russell Westbrook, here's another guy who can play so out of control. He looked awful. And if the Mavericks win, that's the last time that you will see the Clippers as a home team at Crypto. They move over to the Intuit Dome next season in Inglewood. Take it away for us here, Troy. Clippers, Mavericks.
I absolutely loaded up on the Mavs in games 2 and games 5 off of losses on the road as favorites where they've been great all season. And actually saying that kind of makes me think about the Magic, Now, the line did end up moving from the numbers I tracked towards the Mavericks, so it remains to be seen what happens with the Magic. But the Magic, just like the Mavs have been great on the road as favorites, the Magic at home as favorites have been equally as good. But maybe that just gets us a better number, and it gets a lot of public action on the other side. We'll think about that game later. I said it last week. I'm extremely high on this Mavericks team. The best matchup hunting team offensively in the NBA is clear as day. They're great defensively, and it's spearheaded by their superstar, Luka. Luka can move his feet. People give him shit. I still hear people on the announcers talking about Luka lackluster defense. This man plays great on-ball defense. He plays great help side defense. And that's actually one thing that they made adjustments to. Maybe, I don't know if it was Luka or it was just an adjustment that they had to make. Jason Kidd finally made some adjustments that actually gave me even more confidence in this team's ability to make a run here in this playoffs. They pressured Harden from behind on the pick and roll. They were aggressively chasing Harden off the pick and roll and really putting pressure on him from behind, which you could see. Even early in the game, it put a lot of uncertainty in James Harden's head. And when they did that, they pinched from the wing. Luka, Derek Jones Jr., off-ball defenders were pinching, taking away the dunker spot, taking away the gray area from the offense. It was great defense. It was the first time we've seen this all series long. And they played Lively and Gafford more, which is better, when you're defending guys like James Harden, who like to hit those little floaters in the lane, and they force Harden to go left. Harden doesn't want to go left. And I can say this as a hooper. I played basketball my whole life. People were surprised when I went and played football in college because I was all about basketball prior to that. When you're offhand, when you're driving to your offhand, it's easier to pull up. It's easier to pull up. It's more comfortable. It's right in your pocket. It's easier. Just the motion is way more clean. So forcing Harden to go left, which is obviously a strong hand, they weren't doing this prior to this game in this series. And I think it made all the difference in the world. It resulted in multiple blocks and easy, fast break points for the Mavericks. It just looked very uncomfortable for the Clippers to play any type of defense. There's only one way I can look in this game. The Mavs are going to clean up this series. And I don't know if it's going to be an absolute blowout. I'd have to imagine that if they win, they cover just based on what we've seen. But I'll be looking to have some money here on the Mavs. But I do want to see what happens with this market because I'm not going to fade games 5 through 7 on the road. If the market's moving towards them, I'm not going to fade. So we shall see what happens. It remains to be seen. But I think the Mavs take care of business.
Yeah, I think the Mavs take care of business as well.
Oh, yeah, line functionality. Games 3 and 4 at home, they were laying 4.5. They were laying 7. Now in Game 6, we're looking at an 8, right? I mean, I just wanted to touch on that. I know it's pretty obvious, but that's what we look for.
It's Yvonne Polo liking just a touch for the Kentucky Derby. I'm not very high on Yvonne Polo, but we'll be talking about that nonstop for the next 48 hours. You know, I don't like fading a team that gets embarrassed. That's my problem right now. They just got embarrassed and looked awful. Now, I'm not saying that Westbrook and Harden are going to show anything, but Paul George not going to step up. Now, maybe he can step up and it won't matter, and I'm sort of leaning in that direction. We'll see how it goes because I really, really am interested in the continual tracking of these road teams, market moving towards them in games 5, 6, and 7, something that Troy's been delivering for us. Brent Cook on the Clippers plus 7.5. Brent Cook says if Kawhi comes back in Clippers, do you have any? Do you think that there's a chance that Kawhi could come in and try and save the day?
I think what we've seen from Kawhi, and if I was the Mavs, it would not matter. It would not change my game plan one bit. He's been a shell of himself.
We'd get a better line.
We get a better line.
Yeah.
And actually, if he's in and we're still hanging around a 7,
then
that'd be great. That'd be great.
I love it. There you go. And follow at Troy Torrence 11 on X. Any bets he makes on the Thursday or Friday slate will be added to his record, and it's a sterling record right now. And he didn't get off to that strong of a start. Sitting here with us, 17 and 11, 60.7% plus 5.33 units, ROI plus 19.04%, average line minus 106. And as an added bonus, Troy is going to talk about the West semifinals. Minnesota Timberwolves 56 and 26, 26 and 15 on the road at the Denver Nuggets 57 and 25, 33 and 8 at home, Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. And this is a series that we deserve as basketball fans. I cannot wait to watch these two teams battle. Ooh-wee. In the very easy victory for the Timberwolves over the Phoenix Suns, they played at a pace of 95.25 possessions a game. They shot 47.7 from the field, 36.6 from 3, and they look like juggernauts. Denver, 96.4, 0 possessions a game in their very easy victory over the Lakers, 46.3 from the field, and they didn't shoot well from 3. Just 30.8% in that series. Let's take a look at the early line movement here for this one and see what we are dealing with. Again, this is Saturday, May 4th, Kentucky Derby Day. We have Denver right now minus 4.5 at minus 103. They opened up at minus 5. They opened up minus 5 on Tuesday at 7:57 a.m. And by 4.5 hours later, it had moved to 4.5. That's not rec money. Now there are limits at that point, so it's not necessarily big bets, but that's the book's trying to figure out have they lined this correctly. Then, from a total standpoint for Game 1 of the Timberwolves Nuggets. We're sitting here with a 208 at minus 107. This opened up at 209. It's dropped a full point. This moved to 208.5 at the same time that it moved to 4.5. So about 4.5 hours after it opened. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this one, Troy. We have Jokic versus Gobert, and Cat will be, lollygagging around the perimeter as he does. But thank God they have Gobert in the dirty areas, a player I don't like very much. And I can't wait till Jokic teaches him a lesson. And then Ant going against Jamal Murray is must-watch basketball from two spectacular scoring guards. But at this point, Jokic is the best big on the floor. Ant clearly the best scorer on the floor. Take it away for us, Troy. Timberwolves Nuggets.
Man, I'm starting to think that Jokic is the best offensive player that, at least personally, that I've ever seen. Just what he's able to do. But this series it gets me so excited. Like you spoke to it, man. This is exactly what you look for as an NBA fan, as a fan of any type of sport. This is going to be a great series to watch. And I've come full circle with this series, Jim. I've talked about this before. My first ever show on Pub Sports Radio was in round 1, game number 1 of Wolves Nuggets. I give out the Timberwolves first half, full game. I sat here and told you a bunch of shit that did not come to fruition. And literally the next day, after my first show live on PSR, I resurrected my Twitter account I've never made a post on. And I started going official with my action. It was literally after game 1 in this series last year. Shortly after that, the database was created. But I'll always remember that because it was just such a significant moment for me to get my ass whooped. And that motivated me, propelled me as a capper to be better. And I personally believe, with a lot of evidence, the T-Wolves are the most likely candidate to bounce this Denver team. They have a plethora of size that they could throw at Jokic, Towns, Gobert, Reed. I think they'll even sprinkle in some McDaniels every now and then, who's, in my opinion, probably the best defender in the world. Jaden McDaniels is one of the best defenders in the NBA, that's for sure. Herb Jones might be the only even comparable defender to what he can bring to the table in terms of on-ball defense, perimeter defense, off-ball defense, chasing guys around screens. Just every single aspect of defense Jaden McDaniels can do. So I expect to see some of him on Jokic as well. We've seen Jokic struggle with some of the smaller defenders, and I think that we'll end up seeing some of that. And I think that there's only one guy on the floor. At any given time, there's only one guy on the floor for the T-Wolves that there's a complete disadvantage with in terms of being able to defend Jokic, which allows them a lot of flexibility to do so much defensively to change the looks at this team. And for the perimeter defense, just as strong. Alexander Walker, Mike Conley, who's a thug on defense. Don't get it twisted. McDaniels, who's probably the best on-ball defender in the NBA, like I was saying. And I love seeing these superstars in the playoffs like Anthony Edwards and Luka Doncic, who turn up their defensive tenacity tenfold. And just this team's tenacity in general. I talk about the Knicks being thugs. This is my first time being able to talk about the T-Wolves being thugs. The tenacity, physicality, aggression. This is what this team brings. 99 overall in the thug rating category. First in the playoffs. Number 1 overall with offensive rebound rate at 40% of their half-court possessions. 50-50 balls on the defensive glass always go the Timberwolves' way. Their ability to force turnovers is second to none. This is just not the same series we've seen last year because Anthony Edwards, he's arrived. They know their identity. I kind of touched on this earlier. They know their identity late in games. There's no more questions. It's just a healthy dose of Anthony Edwards from the left wing, from the right wing, right down the middle. There's no more questions. No more, is it Cat? Is it Anthony? Who's going to have the ball late? We know who it is, and they've proven that every game in the series. I think the Nuggets, this is just the perfect matchup. I think they're going to struggle. We talked about defensive depth. Won't be able to expose an old, tired, unmotivated team like the Lakers that we just seen them play. I think they're going to struggle to match the tenacity of the T-Wolves. I mean, I think there's just numerous advantages all over the court, and I think the market agrees. Last year in the playoffs, Denver, they never laid less than 8 points in this series at home. They were always 8-point favorites or bigger. This year, during the regular season, Denver never laid less than 7 points. at home when at full strength. Because there's one game Jamal Murray was out and the spread was a little bit lower. But at full strength, they never laid less than 7. Now we're in the playoffs in the highest leverage time all season long. Denver's only laying 4.5 at home. A series price of plus 160, plus 150 at some shops. It's way too short. And it's agreeing with my overview on this matchup. And the T-Wolves fit a freaking profile that could defend this Nuggets offense. I'm on the T-Wolves. I split up 2 units. You could put me down for 1 full unit for all of these, Jim. It's okay. First half plus 2.5. First half money line, full game plus 4.5, full game money line. I tweeted this out yesterday, and it's going to be a wake up call playing against a team like the Timberwolves compared to a team like the Lakers.
That is a wildly interesting breakdown. It is the market with the Nuggets at just minus 190 to win the series is unbelievable. I mean, I guess it's, they're saying, the books are saying that the Timberwolves are very live in this series. And I've not seen anybody give trouble to this Nugget squad. I haven't seen anyone give them
during the regular season. They gave them trouble.
Yeah, but when Jokic cares, I think it's a little, because he kind of freewheels a bit through the regular season. It's not that he's not trying. I don't mean anything like that. It's just that it doesn't. You can beat us in the regular season. We don't. Whatever. We're here to win a championship. So, hey, Henry Julian, whoever you are, take Justin's name out of your mouth. I don't want the cappers that mean so much to our show. It means so much having to deal with this stuff. So don't say anything more, or we'll change the rules, because usually I don't bounce people for that, but I'll bounce you. So don't say another word about Justin, or you're gone. You can come back with a different name. I don't give a fuck. This is
thinking about the future of the NBA. I love where this NBA is heading. I mean, we're about to see all these big name, no Steph in the playoffs, no LeBron, no AD, Paul George, James Harden, Kawhi. They're all going to be getting sent home. And now the new era is rising, man. And it's just great to see.
Well, Ant is everything that we need in basketball. And Jokic. I mean, I just love, you're right.
Shai Gilgeous. Like, there's some guys, man. There's some real, it's going to be great. I'm getting chills. So good. Thinking about how awesome.
Bo Jackson took the Timberwolves to win the series. Doug saying they're begging for Nuggets money. And, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair statement at this point. I think it's a fair statement. So, wow. Wolves first half in full game for our guy. And Saturated saying Murray going to get torched. Wow. God, I've never seen that before.
You're about to see, and I said this, it's funny because I want to say the same thing that I said. I just remember verbatim what I was talking about. The first time I broke this, you're going to see fire in this team's fucking eyes. I really believe you're going to see fire from this T-Wolves team. They're going to come out and play. I don't think they're going to be able to match the tenacity. I don't see it.
I can't wait. Sammy Comer says, why isn't Denver minus 350 with how dominant they are at home? And Von Polo says,
Sammy, what are you thinking here then?
Oh, he's on Minnesota. He took him before the year started. He's doubling down now. He's on the Timberwolves. So,
oh, they're talking about Chiefs Ravens now. God damn it! It's not giving me good vibes.
All right, great stuff, Troy. Again, follow Troy Torrence 11. A man, he's probably the best follow on Twitter right now with how active he is, with the information he's giving out. Let's go over all action here in NBA. Smooth balls play today. 76ers -3 at -112. And we also have BJ's best bet, Pacers -5.5. I don't care if Giannis or Dame plays or not, he says. Then we have, I want Giannis in, and I want to bet the Pacers. I would like some more Halliburton information. Then the Knicks +3, But I still want to be involved in these unders. I still want to be involved. I'm going to keep an eye on what happens with the market, but I want to be involved with these unders. But I will be on the Knicks +3. To me, this is the books, just like where some of the cappers are saying about this Nuggets Timberwolves line. I believe the same thing here. Then on Friday, Cavaliers Magic. We want to know about Jared Allen. We want to know if the market moves to the road team. And if it does, the statistics that Troy has presented are very appealing to back the road team if the market moves towards them. Then Clippers Mavericks. It looks like it's all over for the Clippers. But again, I really dislike fading a team after they get embarrassed. So much so that I might even think about the Clippers first quarter. Again, I want to sit with that, and we're going to cap that again tomorrow. And then we've heard from Troy, Timberwolves first half in full game. A roll-up says Denver the better team. Minnesota's sorry. Yeah, sure. But the Timberwolves do provide some unique contest with them. Ant is the best scorer arguably in the league. And then you have Gobert and Cat. It's a little different. And Brent Cook liking the Clippers with those points. And Kong's Clip saying Jared Allen was not at practice today. And the Yanks have taken a 1-0 lead for our under in that one. But I think we're in still good shape. The live total 7.5, but just top of third. Troy, excellent work, my man. Keep it up. You are, you help enormously. You're just the perfect, everything that Peter and I were hoping for. We keep seeing it, and you're a big part of it. I love it. So thank you for all that you do for us and for sharing your hard work. Any last words, Troy, for the cappers supporting the show?
I'm just one cog of a wheel that is absolutely rolling right now. I really believe this is the best community in this industry, in the sports betting industry. I've learned so much from you, Jim, from all the cappers in the chat, plenty of cappers on the panel. Hey, man, let's go get that cash today. That's all I could say.
Let's do exactly that. There he is, Troy Torrence. Please support him on X. Let's bring back the hottest Major League Baseball capper in the industry to help me close out today's show. And there he is, Jose Bouquett. Any raccoon attacks since we last saw you?
No. And I'm excited to get the fuck out of here because it's hot as fuck. But yeah, it's nice to see everyone as always. But fuck these raccoons.
We have a huge show tomorrow. And then Kentucky Oaks action on Razor's channel. And, of course, we'll be here all day and night on Saturday. Let's review all action. First off, my only bet in Boston, Toronto is the first period under 1.5. And I tell you, I'm so thankful I'm not on the side. This series has crushed me. It's really hurt me financially. It's been a great couple months, but I have given back too much in this series. I'm only on the first period under 1.5. Gogster's on Marner over 2.5 shots. Then Gogster, who cashed both his goaltending props last Thursday, he's on Saros under 23.5 saves. Is Tocchet going to push the Canucks to start taking shots? Again, remember, we talked about it.
Did you bet on the Predators?
I have not yet, but I'm going to. I'll do that probably in the next little bit.
It always conflicts me. I want to root for the Canucks for you, but then you bet against them. So it's very conflicting for me.
It's just, I could not believe that I cashed that bet. The Canucks had every single thing going for them. I mean, it's just, sometimes you just can't get the stink off of losers. JT Miller's doing his best.
I mean, maybe it was just a makeup game for them pulling that fucking game in Nashville out of their ass because that cost me money and I was nonplussed about that.
Yeah. Oh, that was Well, I kind of liked seeing it, but look, I want the Canucks to win the series. I just know what they do. I just know what they do. So, but what kind
of Canucks game would get you to go back? Would you ever go back to watch a game in this situation? Would you go finals game? Is that, or you just fuck the Canucks here?
Game 7 of the 2011 Stanley Cup Finals was my girlfriend's birthday. And I remember seeing Don Cherry's face after the first period. It was 1-0 Boston. And he was just like, he knew our city was going to be lit on fire. Our city got lit on fire because our team can't step up in the most important situations. I'd like to go back to Vancouver, but look, I'm a Canucks fan. This is what happens when you're 44 years old. There's 20 and 25-year-old Canuck fans with hope. That hope will go away just like it went away from me. So
no games.
No, there's no game. Would I go back for a Stanley Cup parade? I don't know. I remember well when we lost to the Rangers in Game 7 in 1994, somewhere in 94. I think I was 12 or no, maybe I was 14. We went downtown, but we went downtown we thought it was going to be Stanley Cup winning celebration. And then, we were on we went on Robson Street, and there was this naked dude on a pole. He was on a pole and he was just dancing like this. And he fell. It was fucking horrifying. He fell.
It's a long fall.
And they had to get the ambulance in. So the ambulance had to get in to help this fucking naked dude who'd fallen off the lamppost. And you have a bunch of angry, drunk Vancouverites who just lost Stanley Cup Finals, and they think that the people are coming in to stop the party, and that's when the cop cars start getting lit on fire, and the windows start getting smashed, and I got tear gassed. Only time in my life I've ever been tear gassed. That celebration. No, we're a fucking powder keg over there. We're a powder keg that knows only losing. Sammy Comer says, Jimmy, what's Surrey like? Vancouver, downtown Vancouver has no gangs, no issues, no problems. Tiny, little, very expensive, beautiful. But if you want gang violence, you just head to Surrey, where you're going. Enjoy it. I try my best to not go to Surrey ever. So
I think you would go to the parade, and I think you would take Carter and Ella because you'd be like, you'll never see this again. I think I could see it now, just tears in your eyes after you win. Oh my God, I can't believe it. And then you'll tell me, Jose, it's betting with Bouquett. I'm going to the parade. I'm bringing Carter and Ella, and then more tears there, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
I think you sold it to Sammy as well.
Oh, Sammy, Surrey fucking sucks. Enjoy that shit. We have so many NHL players that have come from Vancouver. How many have come from Surrey? Zilch. Fucking zilch. But if you like Hell's Angels, you're in the right neighborhood. Then I'm going to be on the Golden Knights here. And this is tomorrow's action. I'm going to be on the Golden Knights. I'm going to bet that today. Gogster's on the over 5.5. Then in MLB, we don't have much action left. All our action's up and Adam. And the final spot on the board is Guardians Astros, which we didn't move on. So
I moved on it.
What did you do?
Full game money lines Guardians.
Full game money line Guardians. Okay.
Yeah. I've already lost my under in the first game, and the Red Sox 0-0 right now. I still have faith. There's their men on, but we'll see. Public has to get their victory somehow.
Nuke Worker says he'll be in Vancouver June. See, his daughter lives on Harrow Street. Harrow Street, that's a beautiful area. That's great. Downtown Vancouver is great. Very quiet, great. It's not fun to party. It's not like a party spot, but all of the violence in Vancouver, all the game, everything is in the suburbs. None of it's in downtown Vancouver. Then we have reviewed all of basketball. So right now, the live total in the Giants Red Sox game, 7.5. And in Baltimore, they just scored a home run here for the Orioles. So it's 1-1 in the bottom of the third. That live total is 7.5 as well. And that is where we stand. Jose, stay hot, my friend. We have a huge, huge day of capping tomorrow. Work starts on tomorrow's card as soon as I get my bets in. But also, it's horses, baby. Horses. That's what we got to focus on here. And Troy Torrence is on
Troy Torrence is moving on the Nationals.
the Nationals.
It's very interesting. The line keep moving towards the Nationals. Let's go
That
look.
game hasn't started yet. That game's in 30 minutes. Okay. Yeah,
The
sorry.
line keep moving to him.
All right,
Minus
that is
one.
our show for today. Thank you guys so much. My dude, the Nuke Worker. Nuke Worker, you should go in like August. June, it's still not like even in my apartment in Vancouver, we didn't even open our pool up in June. The pool got opened up at the very end of June. It's just not hot enough. DC Capper says you like the Boston Bruins. Look, DC Capper, there's too much on the line. And I have been wrong in this series over and over and over again. We're not giving out picks. We're making these bets. Sometimes you got to say, okay, you win. You fucking win, Bruins, Leafs. I'm on the first period under 1.5. I'm not going to keep going out the way I have been. I'm just losing. I'm losing, and I can't keep that up. So I'm off the side. You don't want to know what I think in the side because I can't figure it out. You know, sometimes that happens. You just got to let it go. Focus on tomorrow. Focus on a different series. Focus on the next thing. Nuke Worker, Sammy Comer, The Truth Teller, Troy Torrance, Old E, Bo Jackson, Doug, Billy Friedrich, Roll Up. Thank you guys. Joey Marinaccio, The Dapper Capper, Al Cervic, Wine Time Sports. Thank you guys. Kelly McInnes. Great job. JP Taylor, Steve G, Perky, Andrew G, Brent Cook, Kongs Clips, Harold Williams, Dust 10. Thank you guys so much. Justin McKelvey, Von Polo. Von Polo going to be in Atlantic City starting tomorrow. If anybody's in the area, link up. If you guys need any help connecting, you can hit me up and I can get you Von Polo's information. I got his number here on my phone. Shout out to Von Polo. Thank you guys. Jose, stay hot. It means so much. DC Capper, much love. Christopher Ing, I can't wait. As you guys know, I don't drink unless we're live on stream. So I've been barely drinking. And when I do, it's 0 to 100 blackout. So get ready for it.
The pollutant will come out. I wonder over under 3.5 hours when the pollutant comes out.
It'll be Saturday. Friday, I have too much work to do on night for the Saturday card. So I'm going to keep it tight on Friday, and Saturday it's going to be gross. Yeah, I think 3 hours is fair. I think at about 1 o'clock Eastern.
Okay. All
on
right.
Saturday, yeah.
So everyone knows from 1 o'clock on, you know you're talking to the pollutant.
Yeah. But if I'm winning, that will be fine. Be very friendly.
Yeah. I mean, you won a poker tournament. You don't remember doing it, so.
Yeah, no recollection. And I should have won the last one, but fucking Big Show, good poker player, man. That was a hell of a call he made on me, and it still fucking eats at me. Shout out to Big Show. Troy picked up a K in that poker tournament. We'll be back there. Next year. Jose, stay hot. It means so much to all of us. Stay hot. Good luck with the Raccoons. Do you mind blessing our action and letting us into the future?
Yes, of course. By the way, shout out to Helga's innocence. She kept saying that we had a Coons is a problem, and I was like, you can't just be saying that, Alexis. Like you just can't be saying that. And then she's like, why? And then I had to explain the whole thing there, and I was like, Jesus, you're so innocent. But shout out to Helga as well. But shout out to everyone in here: Nuke, Truth Teller, Kelly, DC Capper, our guy J Dub, Christopher, Joey Marinaccio, Juan, Lee Davis, all you guys, Sammy Comer. Good luck in Surrey. Sounds like a lovely place. Billy, all the people that are here, appreciate it. It's going to be a fun weekend, and it's going to be a fun day tomorrow, so don't forget to tune in. And don't forget, let's fucking milk these motherfuckers tonight. I've got 2 more bets in here, and I'm going to fucking cash both of them, hopefully, to keep this winning day streak alive. Light J and those fucking bookmakers.